doing that because I want to take long showers with you assholes.
Ain't you them kids that have been whacking off in my tool shed?
By a bunch of fucking ice holes like yourself.
Yeah, well, listen, you ought to ditch the geeks in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later.
Oh, my God. There's 100 morons in my basement.
It's you, Larry.
Lollygaggers. Diamond dogs have struck again.
No, they could be a lot worse.
Why did you kiss my ear?
Why are you holding my hand?
Where's your other hand?
Between two pillows.
Those aren't pillows.
4 of us wolves running around the desert together in Las Vegas, looking for strippers and cocaine.
1, 2, 3, Benchwarmers!
Live from Scott's parents' basement, this is the Basement Benchwarmers Podcast.
The Basement Benchwarmers Podcast back for another week for your entertainment pleasure. Tonight, it's myself, Scott, Tim, and Eric. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to digest.
Why stuff happened?
Yeah, things happened. Yeah. Things happened.
Well, we'll digest a lot better with Ed not being here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed.
At least we don't have a 15-minute open.
Wow.
It's giggity.
A 45-minute show.
Right. So let's start off how we start every week. How was your week, Eric?
Great. It was a good week. I felt like the weekend was a great sports weekend, really. I mean, Saturday, I was really freaking lazy Saturday, and I just sat in front of college basketball all day. I started with the Badgers at noon.
Right.
And then I watched the whole Duke Clemson game, which was pretty cool. And then I turned over to Alabama and Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game too.
So great day for college basketball.
Right.
And mixed in a lot of like Phoenix Open that day. Nice. Just a lot of sports. Obviously the Super Bowl. Kids wanted to hang out at home, so I opened up took all the cars out of the garage, got the smoker going. I smoked wings. I had my griddle going, so I did like little mini smash burgers and stuff like that, and we did a bunch of appetizers inside. And yeah, it was the game was obviously we'll get to that later, but that was a little disappointing. But it was a fun sports weekend for me, and then obviously coupled with we got to hang out last night and go to the Bucks Warriors game, which obviously they took one on the chin, but it was still fun, and it was fun to watch Steph Curry. I'd never seen him live.
Yeah,
I think
awesome.
that was like a bucket list thing for me. So
and Jimmy Buckets. Speaking of a bucket list,
yeah, I've seen Jimmy Buckets play a few times, but he definitely makes that team a little bit more, I think, intense.
Yeah, I don't think they got any better, but we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And the horrible Bucks trades.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell. But go ahead. How was your week?
Week was good. Went to see the band Travis at the Big Theater in Chicago on Friday night. My friend Tisdale, which was awesome. So it's a band that I've been following since the late 90s. So.
Travis is the name of the band?
Travis is the name of the band.
What's the genre?
Independent rock. So like Gomez, Stereophonics, kind of that Britpop kind of genre. So
cool.
A few songs. It was awesome. Vic's a nice little theater. Tucked away like just south of Wrigley.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Yeah. So nice to be out. Like we had gone to a concert since we saw Will Hogue. So it was cool. Hoping to go see the Stereophonics at the end of March there as well. And actually, Larkin Poe's playing there too. So we can talk about that. I did look up cake stuff as well, as we can talk about that.
Yeah,
offline.
You got me fired up when we were talking about concerts last night on the way home. So
I ended up going down the rabbit hole last night. I've got like about 5 concerts I want to go
Sweet,
to. So
yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, and then we had the Bucks game last night. Again, great sports weekend. South Carolina Texas women's game was on earlier Sunday, and Texas broke South Carolina's 57-game conference win streak. So, women's are starting to, teams are starting to bunch up. I haven't really been following the men's as well, and I know there's been a lot of like movement with a lot of different teams. So
this is the time of year where I finally start to get into it.
Yeah,
so.
I agreed. Once the Super Bowl's over, it's going to be basketball basically.
Yeah.
For the rest of the spring. So, we can talk about that while Ed tries to find like all kinds of trivia questions and stuff. So, or like snake drafts or
Ed's Jeopardy. Ed's Jeopardy.
Ed's Jeopardy. Well, what's older, Willie or X?
Or cocaine.
So yeah, and then went to the Bucks game. Like you said, saw Seth Curry. Like he's on my fantasy league team, so I was cheering for Seth Curry. So I got a lot of side eyes. Yeah,
40. He had 40, didn't he?
Had 40 last night. Yeah. So and it's funny because I looked at my basketball lineup yesterday and saw that he was questionable. So I almost thought about benching him, and I'm glad that I didn't. So
nice.
Yeah. So
cool.
Scott, how was your week?
Good. Yeah. Super Bowl, obviously one of my favorite games. It's been really good the last few years. This weekend, as Eric said, we'll talk about it. A little bit of a stinker, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bucks game as well. I don't know what did I do? Saturday. I don't know what you did this week. Anything special? I played cards on Saturday night.
That's right.
Didn't win. So
Hold'em, just play Hold'em.
Hold'em, yeah. About 15 people were involved. It was a big game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun though. Had a good time. But yeah, that's about it.
Anytime you want to throw a Hold'em party here again,
yeah, I gotta do one. I keep forgetting.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I gotta do. Maybe
feel free.
Maybe
Just
do it
go
in
ahead.
a few weeks in this cold weather still.
Yeah, it's a good time of year.
Have
to
it
do
tomorrow night. It'd be a good night to have it.
It snowed. I got bowling. Well, bowling might get canceled. My coach.
Yeah, they already called school. I couldn't believe
It's
it.
supposed to start at noon. So
is it really?
Yeah. They were smart. They'd have them go in, leave school at
Do a
noon
half day
because I think if you get in so many hours, it counts as a full day.
Right.
Oh, that would have been smart. Yeah.
And you don't got to. You have to reschedule buses.
so
The
they-
problem is with this, it's always buses.
Yeah,
I understand.
And they build in like 2 or 3 snow days, and I think we have them available. So
they might need them. It's supposed to snow this weekend again, and maybe next week. They're saying not this weekend won't matter.
I've been liking the no snow, but whatever.
We need some snow for the fields and for the farmers
True
and
that.
stuff. We need a
Yeah.
little bit, so it's
Look at you,
okay.
Mr.
I'd rather
Environmental.
have snow and be 30 than being 10 below.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
It's gonna get
Even right
get
now,
cold
it's too
too.
cold for me. Yeah.
It's gonna get cold Thursday, I believe.
Gonna get a little nippy.
Little nippy. The nip is in the air.
It's in the air. So let's go to good, bad, and ugly. Let's start with let's go how we started. Eric.
Whatever. Call me whatever you want. I've been called worse. I'll tell you that.
Bourbon boy.
So
guy.
Rick.
Oh, here we go again.
Wow.
Woo!
Eric, where would you like to start? You pick it.
I'm gonna start with. I'm a positive guy, so I'm gonna start with good. And as I started to write notes down, I was going to talk about all the college basketball games and stuff like that. But during that, it gave me this, it just something better to talk about. And that is kind of our legendary basketball announcer, commentators, guys. I mean, it was a great tribute weekend for 2 guys. Dick Vitale coming back into the mix after being out for 2 years, various types of cancer. He couldn't even talk for like 8 months. And then here he is back doing the Duke Clemson game, which was a huge game for him to do as well. So just a legend. I mean, 41 years with ESPN, fantastic. And then the next day we had the tribute to Hugh B. Brown and doing his last game, and
in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, it was a Bucks.
How old
game.
is he? 91 or something?
91 years old.
Yeah.
So Scott, he first started his basketball journey in 1951 as a college athlete.
Good for him.
And he never left the basketball scene.
Another Bob Uecker type.
The greatest stat about this guy is he won 2 NBA Coach of the Years. 1978 and 2004.
Yeah.
Holy
Was
shit.
he Memphis' coach
Yeah,
at that time?
Memphis, yeah. And I'm guessing that was the Knicks then in 78.
Or didn't he win with Seattle?
Well, these were just Coach of the Year awards.
Right.
They weren't. I don't know if he's got championships.
I'm pretty 90% sure he's got a championship.
Okay, but he was in and out of. He coached a long time. He coached a lot of college basketball as well.
And the beauty of him, you could still listen to him.
Yeah.
He was still a good commentator.
Even the other day,
He had nothing. It wasn't like he was like, okay, yeah, he should have quit a few years ago.
He's
no,
just kind
he
of
was
like, I
good.
guess I need to stop. I'm 91.
He's 91.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, good for him.
yeah,
Like the Bob Uecker thing. Get to do something you love for almost your whole life.
your whole life. Yeah,
Involved in it, either playing,
yeah,
coaching, or being an announcer. Get to be part of it. It's the greatest thing ever. Right there.
yeah. So two absolute legends. I thought it was a good kind of tribute both ways. One guy coming back and one guy, leaving. And you don't know how many more games Dick Vitale is going to be able to do. I mean, it's it sort of was kind of a tribute night to him as well. But yeah, thought that was good to see.
Awesome, baby.
It's a diaper dandy.
You're good, Tim.
My good is that the Cubs and Dodgers reported for pitchers and catchers reported for spring training this week.
It happened already, right?
Yeah, 9th and 11th.
Yeah.
9th and today.
And Alex Bregman will be signed soon. They're signed by somebody.
I saw that today.
Keep hearing the Cubs name.
He said the cut. So it's either him or Justin Turner. They're saying now.
I wouldn't mind Turner.
I wouldn't mind Turner.
He's a gamer,
right? Another.
It might be cheaper too.
I want an adult in the room.
Yeah, there you go.
I want one of those guys.
Winner.
Yeah,
and he's both. They both won.
Yes,
that's the big thing.
Right.
Having winners in the room is good.
Right.
Yeah. We will talk about this later, but I'm going to. My good is Vic Fangio.
Nice,
longtime coach, becoming a Super Bowl champion. And part of the reason they were Super Bowl champion was because of him. So, and his players.
That's it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that was my good. Vic Fangio. So, Eric.
Should I go bad? I'm going to go bad because you just talked about Vic Fangio. And my bad is 23 yards. That was the Kansas City Chiefs offensive production in the first half. 23 yards. That's bad.
Yeah.
That is bad. But again, got to give credit to the Eagles defense. They played great. So.
Right.
You're supposed to overcome that stuff, though, if you're a great offense, right? The blocking, I mean, all of it,
Right.
it was just, and we'll dive
talk
into the
about it.
Super Bowl more
Right.
later. But yeah, 23 yards.
Right. It's a good one. My bad is everyone trying to run Mahomes off Goat Island already. Yeah.
Today, even I saw
He's
a
been
bunch
a-
of stuff.
He's been in more Super Bowls than any quarterback at this. He's like 5 years ahead of anybody that's been this many Super Bowls.
He can say "fuck you," retire tomorrow, and he'd be a Hall of Famer.
And he would be
First
ranked in
ballot.
the top 10 quarterbacks of all time,
Right.
if not 5.
Right.
Or 8.
Right.
Whatever.
Right before I came over here, I worked out a little bit downstairs, and I turned on ESPN, and it said how Mahomes could get better. I'm like, what? We're just killing this guy right now.
We're going to talk about this, and this is the greatest thing I saw today, though, is today someone wrote, too bad we couldn't appreciate this more.
Right.
The dude's getting his ass kicked in the game. He throws a 65-yard dot
That was an
into the end
amazing
zone
throw.
and,
Yeah.
and two guys covering a guy. It was a dot.
I appreciate it.
He didn't have to do that. He could have just dumped it off for 3 more plays and went home.
Yeah.
But he stepped back, got time in the pocket,
Yeah.
Right.
and threw a 65-yard dart.
Right.
Just right. The guy.
Well-
It was not even the guy had it fell into his hands.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything. I mean,
Maybe he's starting to get better then.
Yeah,
They're
he's got
right.
a little bit of improvement to do.
yeah, he's got room to work.
Yeah. I mean,
Just think when Crashy Rice comes back next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah. They do have weapons going forward. I mean, they're going to be right there.
They're another team that needs a number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or an adult in the room receiver.
An adult in the room.
I mean, Hopkins was kind of that guy.
How
but
many
not
veteran
really.
receivers are adults in the room, though?
That's a good point. That's a great point. You know what?
I think
shouldn't say that.
They go the opposite direction
They
in
need
the
a
NFL.
diva. They need a diva receiver. They need that asshole receiver. Like, give me the fucking ball.
The big thing about them is their best player at receiver was
Kelsey?
had a hard time yesterday. Had a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
he
Yeah,
had
he had a rough time.
And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll
So
talk more.
you're bad, Tim. Did you give your bad? What
You
was
just
your bad?
did.
Yeah, Mahomes off.
Oh, we got off Mahomes. Yeah, my bad is Virginia McCaskey and Dick Duran passing away this last week.
Yeah.
Dick Duran, ex-Bears coach, actually was a real good coach
How
for
old
Bears.
was
Won
he?
some games.
74.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah.
Brain cancer, like very quick too. I guess.
He was on the Packers staff for a while as well.
Yeah. And Virginia McCaskey, 102 years old. Funny stat about her: she became the owner when she was 63 years old.
Right.
Wow.
Almost 50 years or 40 years of being the owner.
Maybe we haven't reached our prime
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, good point. But yeah, no matter what we say about ownership in Chicago and stuff, she still was a great part of the NFL, and still the last link to probably one of the last links to the real NFL was probably her. I mean, basically for the whole thing, if you think about it, because the Mara holders are gone and the Rooneys, and she was probably the last one. So
well, you still had the Hunt
older
family.
ones,
You still
yeah.
had the Hunt family.
Well, but yeah, the big
the old guard.
Yeah, the old guard.
Right.
Yeah. Never mind. I was going to give an eye comment, but let's move on.
Hey, it's a flannel-free podcast.
This is going too fast here without Ed. I don't,
I almost said something, but go ahead.
My ugly is Ed not being here. No, my ugly is the hypocrisy with the Dallas Mavericks. The other night there was fans that were, I mean, they're obviously protesting the fact that Luka, and there was some people using explicit language and signs, and then the guy that kind of mouthed that they should fire what's his name, and they kicked him out. But yet Mark Cuban, the owner, turned and yelled, sit down, shut the blank up. And when I say blank, I mean fuck, to the fans. But he obviously stayed in his seat. So they kicked the other people up because they cited the rule book. Anybody using explicit language will be removed from the arena.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
He wasn't removed.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's the owner. He can do whatever the hell he wants, but it's hypocrisy.
He's a part owner now, right?
Yeah,
he's very little.
not the majority.
23% of the team was.
So he doesn't have any say in anything.
And that was just
anymore.
last year. He gave up the majority, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he sold to whatever.
Well, then you should kick him out.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, the majority owner should have kicked him out.
We're gonna talk more about that because Tim wasn't here. Were you guys here last week?
I was here last week.
You weren't here, so we'll talk more about that the trade because we didn't talk about. We'll do it. We broke into segments the last few weeks, so we'll do it tonight. But the last segment we'll do NBA and other stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
NBA, we'll talk about the Jimmy Butler trade too. That we
that's
didn't see.
cool.
We didn't see last
We
week.
can talk about the bad Bucks trade too.
Oh, Christ, here we go.
Oh well.
Good.
That was my
Ugly.
that's my ugly.
Okay, yeah.
My ugly. Well, see, you took mine. So
Oh,
I
I'm
was kinda-
sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. So I do that shit to you all the time.
Yeah, I know. Can't stand it.
Paybacks for a bitch. I'm gonna go with this.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you got. De'Aaron Fox was another person that was part of the trade deadline.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
it got buried.
Yeah, I guess that he's thrilled about going back to Texas, but apparently his wife is not.
Oh.
So to the fact that when they found out about the trade, she pulled him aside like after a game, like whatever game it was, if they found out about the trade or like what had happened, and basically gave him an earful that they're going back to Texas.
Why did you want to go there?
She doesn't like it. She doesn't like Texas. So
No, don't stay Texas.
right,
The money he makes.
I'd fucking yeah.
He's from there, right?
Yeah, he's from Texas. Yeah, I'm not sure if she is or not, but
Does she?
she might be. I think they met at Kentucky, so she might be a Southern girl. But
yeah.
still, I mean, I'd rather go to Texas than fucking
when
Sacramento.
you've got that money,
right?
You can make the best of where you got to live.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just trying. You don't got to move into an apartment.
California, Texas.
Yeah.
California.
chances are it's
You
not.
go visit California anytime you want. You got the money.
It's not going to be forever.
And Sacramento's not that exciting anyway. I can understand if down by LA, San Diego, it'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool.
San Antonio's pretty fun from what I've heard.
San Antonio,
It's a great.
I wanna
looking
go there.
city,
You've
yeah.
been there?
I've never been, but it looks
They
awesome.
have a
Heather's
river walk
been
and
there.
all that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be awesome. My parents loved it there.
Yeah.
They've been there a couple times. They love it.
There's got to be worse places.
When they get an NFL expansion team, we'll make it one of our trips.
Oh, I love to go down there. I wonder how far the drive is from. Oh, that state's pretty big.
That's pretty
Those
big.
drives are
Right.
like going from here to like New York.
Right,
Maybe it's a political thing with her or something. Who knows?
right.
The way
Yeah,
she's
she wasn't
treated
happy,
somewhere.
so.
Interesting.
I'm gonna put my flannel on now.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh boy.
So my ugly is not at all. This isn't a knock on the halftime show for the Super Bowl. This is a knock of as soon as people had said they didn't like it, it became like an issue of was it white and black? Now it just was an issue of not liking the song, the music.
Yeah.
Right. That's all it was. I not trying to say the typical I loved a few years back when the Rihanna was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, do I listen to Rihanna in my car all the time? Definitely not.
Prince
But I thought-
Prince obviously was probably the best halftime
Yeah.
show ever.
I thought Dr. Dre and them. I know, and the big knock was even that all these old people don't get it. Well, here's the thing: when your sport is viewed by 75% people over 40, probably.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're male or female. You got to kind of. And I'm not saying you have to go out and get Rolling Stones because I don't think I'd rather see a newer up and coming band.
Right.
But it's just all this argument over the halftime show. That's how bad the country's becoming. It's just social media wants to argue about something. It's just these people are going back and forth about you don't get it, and it's always seems to be. This sounds like Ed again. It always seems to be like the white suburban mom defending this, like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. You're a liar. You had no idea what was going on. You say it just because you want to look like you're part.
Can't we have an
You can't
opinion
just be
on what music we like?
Yeah,
I mean,
didn't. If to be honest, I'm not a. If it would have been like, I'm trying to think. I mean, I just don't. I just didn't think it was. I didn't like the music.
Yeah.
The show was cool. Everything going on was cool. I thought it was neat. The big Dre, Drake going back and forth. That's kind of funny.
Right.
But it wasn't my cup of tea. But I didn't sit there and go, oh, this is. Whatever. And on the next thing. I think the reason it was such a big thing is the game sucked so bad that it
That could
became
be part of it, right? Too, but again, like you have a league that's 80% black, you know, so like, and your audience probably isn't. So
yeah,
you know, it's hard. I have a question. You know, we'll talk about other stuff for the Super Bowl as well, but yeah, I mean that's understandable. I mean, I told you guys,
And they could have the next 10 years could be people I don't like,
right?
Or not don't like. I just don't like the music or what they're singing. Doesn't mean I don't care. But if I say I just didn't like halftime, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm like,
well, that's
I just didn't like. I didn't like Black Eyed Peas. I thought they were terrible.
That was the worst.
And people loved them.
That was the year the Packers won.
They could have had.
I thought they were terrible.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they could have had Nickelback last night. People would have been pissed because they're Canadian.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I don't like about either, it was besides SZA. I said her name right? Yeah, SZA. I mean, she sounded good,
right?
But once again, but why not? They didn't have enough. Like, it was just kind of boring.
Yeah, he's not.
It was just him. There was no honestly, I thought there'd be more like cameos, maybe come out and sing, just different. But no, it was just like you were at his concert, which that's not what halftime's about anymore.
And
there's little pop-ups and stuff.
He's not mainstream enough, I think, for the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Right.
It's almost like if who'd you go see? Travis came out and did a halftime.
Yeah.
Half the crowd, half the country would probably know who they are. They're happy, like, who the hell is this?
Right.
Or a quarter. Kendrick Lamar probably had the same. Well, they probably have more following than Travis. I'm going to say that.
It's way more.
But I'm just saying, it's just kind of the concept is like. I just thought it was. I don't care the halftime show.
Right.
But it's like, nobody said anything. Nobody went in and said I didn't like it because he was black.
Right.
I didn't like it because I just didn't like. I didn't like this. The show was decent. I didn't like the music. I didn't like that music. I've seen many other bands, black, white, Latino. I mean, J-Lo was good the one year, right? She did it one year.
Well,
right?
that was criticized too because it was too Latin.
Yeah, and I liked it.
Right.
I thought it was good.
It was
entertaining.
I loved when Janet Jackson did it.
Yeah, who did? What 12-year-old boy did? Dad, what was that?
That's a boob, son.
Yeah.
Was it a little
and
star?
that's why we live in America.
There was a little star on it.
Yeah.
America.
That
was the Bush era too.
Yeah, it was.
America.
Why did it salute me? I don't know.
Who saluted you?
Why is it standing at attention?
Well, that's just me.
Why is there so many pictures on my phone?
Oh, jeez. Hey, do not walk away without your phone in your pocket.
Yeah, obviously, and not say anything about it. That's the mistake.
Well,
I
you
made.
even said you go keep an eye on my phone. Is that what you said?
No, I said I gotta lock it so you guys can't get into it.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's not the case.
2 seconds later, Scott grabbed the phone.
I know.
It was too easy.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Me and Ed looked at each other. I'm like, oh yeah, this is getting done. So yeah, that's the first segment. That was Good, Bad, and Ugly. In the opening, we'll talk NFL next.
Right.
Cool. Okay, cool.
You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers. And our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com.
Oh, you are so full of crap. You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also gonna walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame.
In the field, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money! He's the largest black man! I love black people! I love black people!
Either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals, as football guys.
I thought you told me he was solid muscle.
Well, he's much stronger than he looks. I want you to go get some tips.
Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
Foosball? You playing the foosball behind my back? The only reason I'm doing it so I can go to school. School? You going to school? Ah! Sorry.
Football is life!
So we're back, the Benchwarmers. Tim, Eric, and Scott here tonight. And this past weekend, Super Bowl 59 took place. Correct?
Shit, I missed it again.
It was a blowout, 40-22 in favor of the Eagles over the Chiefs, and that score wasn't even really as close as the game really was.
Was that really even close?
No. So yeah, Chiefs are denied a three-peat. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni get their first Super Bowl. Sirianni's first in 2 tries, 1-1 in Super Bowls now. Jalen Hurts MVP as well. We can obviously we'll go around what your thoughts in the game were. We'll start with Tim this time. We'll start with Tim.
Just a little disappointed seeing that, Kansas City. I just surprised, really. Like, I would have thought of it the other way around, the way that Kansas City's played the last few years. But, having injuries in the offensive line, not having that number one receiver, Fangio's like 4-man rush in the sticky zone. It just worked to just figure it out, what worked for them, and they just kept with it. So, it just amazes me. The Eagles coach was like, on the hot seat of week 5, arguing with fans and calling for his firing and stuff. And
They did a poll on like Philly radio, and 80% of the people wanted him fired.
Philadelphia, they booed Santa Claus. So I mean, they don't appreciate anything there.
Well, that's been the theme this year with coaches, right? Ryan Day was the same guy.
Right.
Everybody wanted him out.
Right.
And he wins the whole thing.
Well, not Mike Woodson, that's for sure. But we can talk about that in the class. So, but kind of sad that I didn't have any of my numbers because I was hot this year with gambling with you and Ed.
Yeah.
For all the playoff games.
Yeah.
So fucking Chiefs. But again, like, I think the theme going in, people are trying to make villains out of the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're really not. Like, what's wrong with that team? Like, think about the Patriots, with the Deflate Gate, and like, I know that someone like talked about the Yankees in the early '90s and stuff because they were outspending everyone, but how can you hate Kansas City? Especially since we've been there. Like, I think I appreciate them a little bit more, and like how good, they're a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts.
And they're not done,
right? And they're not. Yeah, Mahomes is only 29. They still have some young receivers. They've got the angry man in the backfield. They just need a couple tweaks in here and there, and they'll be right back in the AFC Championship game, I think.
Yeah. Would it be his 8th in a row?
8th in a row, yeah.
If you were to get back. 7 in a row he's played it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
They're definitely going to be in the mix. Obviously, too, they're hard to hate because of Andy Reid.
Right, exactly.
He's a legend at this point. Obviously, we're a little biased towards him because he was with the Packers as a quarterback coach for a long time. But
and he likes hamburgers.
Loves hamburgers. And he's just kind of an everyman, right?
Right.
And he's had kind of a challenging life on the personal side of things. And I root for him. I think he's great. We'll see how much longer he coaches. Maybe he said next year for sure, but
yeah, how many years does he have left in his deal though? 2 more years? Right.
My thought, just quick notes that I had, like, obviously, we already said Vic Fangio was a genius in this game, and that coupled with the blocking just wasn't there for the Chiefs, and that gave you basically a stressed out quarterback, right? He was just stressed,
right?
Like nothing he has seen all year for some reason, and he made some stressful, poor throws early on.
He was rushed, but
and then the game's out of hand, right? Just like that, the game's out of hand. So now you have no time to establish any kind of running game, right?
Right.
And it's just back to it. Then another turnover happens, and they score again, and it's just over and over and over. But what was impressive about the Eagles offensively, they didn't really need Saquon to be the Saquon he was throughout the playoffs. He had basically a civilian type of game and didn't need to have these huge explosive plays. And I kind of wanted to see it because I had rooted for Saquon all year. He was on. He won me some serious cash in fantasy football this year, so I rooted for him a lot, and I thought it was fun to watch. And he kind of had just sort of a kind of Super Bowl,
right? And the whole story of him being on the Eagles in the first place is awesome as well.
All of it,
yeah.
Everything about the Saquon story this year was so cool, and you kind of wanted it to be capitalized in the Super Bowl by him, having a 60-yard touchdown or something at some point, and it just never happened. But no, I thought game plan, coaching was all Eagles. They just did a great job. As a fan, it was kind of tough to watch because the game was out of hand so quickly. And we had some good games in the playoffs leading up to
absolutely.
it. Really some close games, and you were kind of sitting down hoping for that. And,
right.
Didn't really get it.
The Ram-Eagle game I thought was the best game out of the playoffs, in my opinion. So, better than the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to say, too, I think Jameis Winston definitely made himself some money for a future career for him. So
just being a goofball out in the
just
media,
being himself. I guess that's his.
I heard he's funny. Yeah, it seems like he
was incredible that whole year.
It was awesome.
He was so fun to watch.
Hey, Saquon, I'm a free agent. You think I could go somewhere to play football? I heard the Giants or the New York's looking for. Which New York team? The Giants. Great.
Either way, huh? With New York.
Okay.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Scott? Just
a lot of we guys said. I Barkley was I think Barkley was a lot more of the game than people realized. He took
There's a couple plays that happened in the game when they showed when Jalen Hurts took off running, and like there was a guy pressuring coming in up the middle, and he saw Barkley take off, and he chased Barkley to the flat, and Hurts ran through that hole.
Yeah.
I mean, Barkley's, you could tag on every yard that Hurts got running probably onto Barkley.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the threat is there, and I guess I never realized it so much. And you're watching the Super Bowl, so it's such a big moment. He's so involved in that tush push too. He's like right there in the mix, man. He's like, yeah, let me get in there, and just great. I think great player. I mean, I didn't realize how versatile he is until this year, because
he's a great blocker.
He stayed healthy all year, and he basically had the stage all year to showcase everything that he's about, and he nailed it. Everything, personality, everything, leadership. I still say he should have been the MVP, but that's, I guess, a conversation for another day.
He'll get it next year if he has another season like this.
Yeah, but
yeah, and also it's crazy with Jalen Hurts how he quietly just has a good NFL season. He threw for right around 3,000 yards, nothing special. He just had a good season, although he runs a little bit more too. And how he was he's one drive away from being a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
He really is.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for them getting on him, the Chiefs going on the field on him in that Super Bowl, he'd be a 2-time MVP. And that's not stuff that he's not, but he had a great Super Bowl last time he played.
Right.
This stuff is not, and you never talk about Jalen Hurts. And nobody's never put him in the category of Allen and Lamar Jackson, but the one thing the reason we're back to the Chiefs, people hate winners for some reason.
Right.
And he's a winner everywhere he's played. He took his lumps with Tua taking a spot, then he came in and took, and then he comes to the NFL. The one time, I don't know if you remember this. Remember when I don't know if he came in the game against the Packers when his rookie season, or he started the game, and the Packers, I want to say that was Rodgers last year, or maybe it was the year that not the last year, because they didn't make the playoffs. Rodgers last year, might have been the year before. I don't know, but Packers had a pretty good team that year, and Packers beat them. But it's like they were down in the fourth quarter of the Eagles, and he like drove them on like 2 or 3 drives to get them points, and then lost by like 7 points or 4. It was they made it, and I was watching it again, like, man, this guy, if they get it right, he's going to be a good quarterback. Like I was surprised. I wasn't a big Hurts fan coming out of college.
They were criticized for taking him.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, he was second round. He was actually the same year as he might have been the same year as Jordan Love, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, he might have been the same year as Jordan Love, because I think he was.
Well, he's that guy that everybody's always bet against him. Didn't expect.
He's a winner.
Didn't expect that, and he's a winner. Oh yeah,
everywhere he's been, he's won,
and he does it. He's a quiet winner. Like he seems like a quiet leader out there. Like he's not. I mean, when I say quiet, he's not a me guy.
He's not like a cocky guy.
No.
He takes his lumps, gets up. You never see him really talking crap to guys, or I mean, he probably does. They all do. He's more, but he just plays the game, and I gotta give him credit. He's a quiet guy.
Yeah,
and another guy in the game, a big play for him, Cooper DeJean with the pick 6 in the game. He's talking about the robber coverages all day that just Holmes couldn't get out of his own way. Sweat having a great game. Another free agent, made some money being a free agent this week. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna. They have a good team, and they have a chance to keep all those guys there. But like Tim said, the Chiefs, I mean, they're missing an offensive lineman. They were playing. They're all pro guard at tackle. And he got dominated all day. But you got to do what you got to. I mean, you have to try to make it right. And you know what? Maybe that was a flaw in their offense. Maybe Reed messed up by not chipping more, by not keeping more guys in. We've seen this with other teams. I mean, you always sit there and go. I mean, I don't remember. They were only rushing 4, but you still gotta start keeping guys in.
Right.
Yeah.
It means Kareem Hunt sits in the back of the backfield all day, or your third stringer out that's a better blocker. You just gotta do it. And but then again, there was pressure all day.
It was very well
all
done.
Day.
Yeah, and then you like I said, you get behind, you make a couple mistakes, and then what? Then it just wasn't their day. It reminded me of when it was the Seahawks beat the Broncos, and the Seahawks just they got up,
demolished him 43-8.
They killed them early, and it was just nothing they could do. Even though they had Peyton Manning and they had all this
that was Manning's 50 touchdown year.
Yeah, and then the next year they won it, right?
A year or two later when his neck was messed up.
Yeah,
and he just came back. He didn't play for a few weeks. Then he came back. He was going to get benched. They thought, but they played him, and they ended up. That was a defensive. They played. That was Von Miller was the MVP of that Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
So their defense played really well in that one.
Yeah.
Denver's.
But yeah, it reminded me a little bit of that. Just getting down early. The defense just disrupting everything that you had planned.
And lost in this whole thing is the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
They
Right.
played good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
You got to score. They were down. They were only take away those 2 pick sixes, or the pick 6 and then the pick that got them a score.
Short field.
And so if you take, and you don't, it's part of the game. But they only been up 13-0 at halftime, or what was it, 24? So 10-0 at halftime would have been,
Like
or
a
20, whatever. It would have been 13 or
like
10-0
a lot
at
of
halftime.
Super Bowls we've had recently. It's
Yeah.
been a 10-0 score or whatever.
And it felt like it was going to be just a plodding Super Bowl, and all of a sudden it's like the Chiefs just couldn't. The defense was just on the field too much, and it's caught up with them too fast.
Yeah, Chris Jones had a stinger, and I think that he wasn't effective.
Yeah, and he got to be up in the AFC Championship game a little bit, and I think that was still lingering on him. But I mean, he ain't gonna miss the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now. I mean, 75% Chris Jones better than most guys in the NFL, so I take my chances with that.
It was
Plus his presence. I mean,
it was a lot of points too early. It was like me in high school. It was just too much math.
Public school.
What was I going to say? No, I was trying to think. So you think Saquon had a decent game because he was kind of
he had an
everywhere.
effect on the game. He was there, and he blocks in coverage, and
he caught that pass on the sideline.
Yeah, he
too.
caught that play. If you watch call plays, the guys are chasing him on the flat routes, and and then Jalen Hurts goes somewhere else to run.
So he still had over 2,500 yards rushing total for the season, which is an NFL record, and over.
And he missed the game too.
Right.
Remember?
Well, that's right.
He sat
out
week
a
18.
game.
So he only played 16 games.
Yeah.
And the minimum playoff games, the minimum number of games you can play in the playoffs, he played 3 only. Oh no, they played 4. I'm sorry, they weren't.
They played week 1.
They weren't the number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So he played 4. So, but still, he beat Terrell Davis's playoff record for yards in a playoff.
Yeah.
But that's how big he was in the first 2 games or first 3. When you think about it, he only had 50 yards and he still broke the record. So, I mean, Barkley had a great year, and it was. I mean, I still think Derrick Henry was a great addition for the Ravens.
I would just really hate
Absolutely.
to see watching the Eagles with Barkley. The whole
it was just
John Mara talking. Yeah.
I don't want to see him go to the Eagles.
Yeah,
And he goes to the Eagles.
That's awesome.
So, and I'm happy for Saquon. He seems like a down to earth guy. It seems like a good guy.
He's from Pennsylvania too.
Yeah, he played Penn State, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good for him. I mean, but like you said, Tim, I'm not going to bet the Chiefs are a distant memory by far.
They're already a favorite. The favorites are the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Are they?
For next year?
For next year, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ravens, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Eagles, Lions.
Lions will get some. The Lions will be back because they're going to be healthy. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be healthy.
These are just early odds.
And I think I think someone said it last time. Maybe Tim said. I mean, I think the Lions sitting there going, they probably would have won the Super Bowl if they were healthy.
If they were healthy, yes, absolutely.
If they had a normal amount of injuries and just 1 or 2 guys missing, even Aiden Hutchinson didn't play again, and everybody else was healthy overall, they could have won the Super Bowl, no problem. It might have been. I think it might have been worse of a beating if they would have played them, because their offense would have scored probably more than because remember the Eagles started out slow, but still, hey, the Eagles did what they had to do, and they look good. They caught steam. Yeah, they caught steam. Like the Packer game, they were kind of slow in the first half. They got off, and after the second half against the Packers they were just off in the play. They were gone. Yeah. The Washington comes in, people are like, oh, this can be a great. They just demolished. But Washington made mistakes in that game too. But they and the Chiefs, but it's forcing mistakes too on defense. Your defense forced the mistakes. It wasn't like they just gave you the ball. Here, take the ball.
I think they have some free agents on defense going into this.
Sweat is for sure.
Yeah. There was like 4 or 5 names, and the one that stood out to me was Sweat.
Slay might be one too, or the other guy that was a Lion for a year, Gardner Johnson.
I didn't see his name.
I know one of those guys. My Slay maybe is.
I think Slay and Sweat are the 2 names I saw.
Yeah, but Howie's done such a great job, not only drafting but keeping the cap in order.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
I'm surprised they're not like a favorite to repeat.
And I think
they are. They're one of the 5 teams. And those 5 teams are all neck and neck basically.
And I think Hurts has been paid already. He's got his contract.
Yeah.
He's passed.
And Saquon's obviously
2020 draft.
Saquon's got 3 or 4 years left, or 3 years left on his deal.
2020 draft was Hurts with Love,
Dylan, and that draft. So he's on a second contract for sure. Right. I don't know what. I just think that it's going to be interesting next year. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Out of both these teams, would you be surprised seeing both back next year?
No.
Well, we saw them 2 years ago, so surprised to see them in the Super Bowl. No, but obviously you have a handful. You have several teams, I think, that could be in the mix to go to the Super Bowl. I wrote down some sleepers.
Oh, you know, let's talk. Oh, what did I do with it?
What happened? What was that little ding that we heard?
The computer.
Oh.
You know what? Did I do that last week? God bless it. I apologize. I threw away all our predictions for like the player of the year and stuff. And they announced them. I'm sorry, I did that.
Oh, I won.
I didn't have any, so I know that.
I won.
You guys,
I won.
Well,
Josh Allen.
You guys tied because you're here.
Yeah. I had Josh Allen for MVP.
So, so I know Josh Allen MVP. Offensive player of the year was it Lamar Jackson?
No, it was
Saquon. I know rookie was Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Defensive rookie was I could probably look these up.
The Rams.
Verse. Yeah.
Who won the Watson Award? Tucker.
Wow.
I was like, what? Oh, I get it.
The Walter Payton Award he won.
Man of the Year. And then what other big awards? Who was defense player of the year? Was it Hendrickson?
I don't know.
It was a corner.
Oh yeah, it was. It was
hyphenated name.
The dude from Detroit.
Yeah, it was weird. I was surprised.
Gardner Johnson.
No, it was
It was a hyphenated name, though, wasn't it?
The dude with the 9 interceptions for Detroit.
I don't think he was a Lion though. Let me see NFL honors. Because I saw the name, I'm like, wow, that threw me out because
who's more prepared, Willie or Scott?
Coach of the year was O'Connell.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell, which is a good pick. Right. I thought that was fair. Defensive lineman Armstead was the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Josh Allen
won the MVP.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
Kevin O'Connell. George Kittle was Salute to Service Award winner. The ground and air winners FedEx was Josh Allen, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, the guy didn't get no votes at all, and he had an incredible. He had Triple Crown, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you get any votes for MVP? Anyone know?
Receivers never do.
We can talk about that too in a second. Remember Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Also, I want to find it now. It's bothering me. Jane Daniels, we talked about. Verse.
Right.
So we just want to know who defensive player of the year is.
Joe Burrow was comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
Why? Was he hurt?
Yeah, he did get hurt at the end of the year, right?
That's odd. That's odd that he was comeback player of the year. I mean, he had a great season.
He was legitimately injured, though. It wasn't like Joe Flacco sleeping on the couch.
If they were a playoff team this year, I think they seriously should have considered him for the MVP.
Absolutely.
I mean, just if they even were in the playoffs, because his numbers.
And they lost like 4 games, and they missed the opening day against the Raven. They missed the Raven game because the field goal kicker missed 2 field goals.
Yeah, they lost some tough. They're my list of sleepers. They're like the number 1 sleeper.
Patrick Surtain.
Oh yeah, Patrick Surtain.
Oh, from Denver.
He beat Garrett,
and he was on the trade block earlier this year.
Yeah, I thought Myles Garrett would have won it. Maybe he should have kept his mouth shut.
Jameis Winston was the most popular man on the red carpet.
You should have been. What people really want to know? What's your favorite color?
Offensive assistant was Ben Johnson.
Nice.
Defensive assistant doesn't say.
Aaron Glenn.
That would have to be maybe Fangio.
Yeah,
but doesn't say.
Interesting.
I don't know. A lot of crap going on here. So Hall of Fame. Oh, we're done with the Super Bowl. Anything else about the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Who's gonna be in the Super Bowl next year, Tim?
Next year?
Yeah. What do you got?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Buffalo and Detroit.
I like
that's a limb.
That is a huge limb.
I think.
Way to pick 2 sleepers.
Go ahead. You go first, Eric.
No, I mean I want to pick a sleeper, but
I have one.
It's always gonna be someone that you don't expect. So
I'm gonna say it's gonna be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Eagles and the Bengals.
Oh,
wow!
I'm gonna go out on that limb.
There's a lot that's gonna happen for the.
Nobody's
Bengals,
writing this down because in August we'll make some real picks. But
I'm gonna go. I'm trying to think of a team I was thinking about the other day that could make a run because they're kind of quiet.
Texans,
Browns.
No, nobody really right
now. Duval.
Maybe I was thinking that was creepy, wasn't it? When he did that.
What was that?
The new coach,
Liam Cohn.
What was that about? Why did he do that?
He pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, Duval. What are you doing?
Right. He's creepy. What? Yeah. Watch him. He's gonna be awesome. Watch. Yeah. This is how this stuff works. This is like what's his name biting off kneecaps, and, and everybody's like, "This guy's insane."
I'm gonna say KC in Detroit.
KC in Detroit.
I think KC's in a I think it. it's something about that team that doesn't take losing lightly and winning lightly. They just, that's why they've been in so much. They're always involved. They don't all of a sudden disappear for a year.
Yeah.
They haven't disappeared for 7 years.
Right.
They've been involved for 7 years.
Right. We've been talking about okay, we're going to pick against them.
Yeah. And it's 8 years if you think, because even the year Alex Smith, before he started, Mahomes was there, they made like the divisional playoffs.
They were good, yeah.
They made it to the divisional round. Right. So they've been 2 rounds or higher for 8 years in a row. So I just think, like you said, they get healthy. And we're picking the Lions right now because they're going to get healthy, we think, right? We think. So, and they're not going to lose a ton. So it's hard. Obviously, we're as the offseason happens,
there's
pickups,
too much,
drops.
There's too much.
Who knows?
Going to happen?
Because that only thing about the Chiefs not looking good offensive line wise, it kind of affects the Bears a little bit because I think Trey Smith, they are not letting him go. No. They can't. No. He's the one guy they have to keep. They have to keep their offensive line intact. They have to. They have no choice. So, and I think they're going to. I think they've done the same thing with Cap there. They don't spend money on these luxury items like receivers. They try to stay cheap, and they build internally kind of, and their defense is really good. Right. And they're going to get all their corners back. I mean, I'm sure Spagnuolo's now retiring.
Yeah,
I mean,
continuity is important.
Yeah.
Plus, they could rally, like, say Reed decides this is last year and Travis is the last year. They just rally.
Travis, I don't know. I think
he was bummed out because he was ready to retire.
I thought he was going to retire when that game was over. If they won, that's what I was thinking.
I think if they would have won, he would have retired and proposed. It would have been like,
I don't know if he would have proposed at the game like that because I don't think he's that kind of guy to take away from his team.
Yeah.
I think he would understand the moment, and I think it'd be a kind of a dick move to do that.
Right.
I really do. But I think maybe after, maybe at the party in front of everybody at the Super Bowl, all his teammates, that'd be different. But not the camera. I mean, once again, they're not two people who need the camera anyway. Right. Especially her. She don't need the camera limelight. She probably like it. But.
She got booed.
Yeah. I just don't. That's another thing I understand. People. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but you're booing her. Why?
Right.
Because they show her on camera. She don't go, hey, show me.
Right. Every Super Bowl, there's all kinds of celebrities.
They showed what's his name like 3 times, Bradley Cooper.
They showed Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't,
Bradley Cooper, like he's a
big time Eagle guy.
They didn't show Mike Trout much. I wonder if he was there. They didn't show him at all, did they?
He was there.
Oh, I didn't see him. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. He's a huge Eagle fan too. Him and Bradley Cooper always sit together, like in that lower box thing. They always get those seats like at the Eagles, and when they're outside, they're like sitting like almost on the field. It's kind of weird.
And who was Cooper sitting by?
His daughter.
He was in the box, right?
Lady Gaga. She was there.
He was sitting right next to the owner, wasn't he?
Yeah. What is Lady Gaga okay? Like what is going on with her fucking eyebrows, man?
She's never been okay, dude. Lady Gaga.
But the meat dress did it to her.
I think so.
Jesus Christ, because I'm looking at him like, is she sick? Like, is this a fashion statement?
She's got some new. She's just got a new look going on.
Is it the tariffs? Is it like
it's the tariffs? Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Her sheen's too expensive now.
Right. Hey!
Whoa! Look at this guy.
What are you doing?
That's really official.
It's fucking baseball season.
Yeah!
Is that
we're
why
talking
you threw
NFL?
That on? Or what?
Yeah, I know, but the NFL's over, so spring training started on Sunday. Hey, wait, can we bring that up? Why do pitchers and catchers for the Cubs report on Super Bowl Sunday?
Because they probably watch the game. They got a party.
Well, they had to report.
They probably do it on purpose.
No.
Let's get together. I'm gonna worry about nobody. We're gonna have a party at the complex.
They probably
Oh, hell yeah!
Together. That's fucking great.
And the team pays
That's
for
great.
it.
Team building.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But they had to report early because they're playing in that thing in Tokyo.
Oh yeah, they play.
I mean, everybody else.
18th.
Everybody.
18th of March.
Who they
My
play?
birthday.
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Yeah. So that's why
5
Dodgers
a.m.
and Cubs are the two teams that
Where are we
reported.
watching it at here? 5 a.m.
Yeah.
What day is it?
It's like a Wednesday and Thursday.
Omelets and
Wednesday.
bloodies.
Yeah, it's like middle of the week. It's not a weekend
Bloodies
series.
and old fashioned.
5 a.m.
Oh.
So what time is it there?
Oh.
It's the prime time there. I believe it's 7 there. I believe.
We'll get some Sapporo. We'll have sushi and
For breakfast.
We could record the game, watch it later.
Yeah.
we can watch
Even
it
better.
live and do a show.
5 a.m.
We could drink bourbon.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yes.
It's my birthday.
5:10
That day
a.m.
is?
Yeah.
We could drink sake.
I will say, I believe
Sake
it'll be
to me,
Shota
baby.
Imanaga versus Roy Saki
Being
for
from
the
the
first time.
sake show.
Sake it to
Yeah, but
me,
you can
baby.
go back talking about your dumb football.
Wow. I can't believe
Are
you
we
just
talking
said
about
this
Super Bowl? Are
blasphemy.
we talking about Super Bowl? Can we talk about Aaron controlling the narrative?
Oh yeah. Aaron. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. He's they're not gonna keep him.
Yeah. So do you know why? They asked him for 2 things: participate in the off season in any kind of team activity, and not appear on the Pat McAfee show. And he said no.
They really asked him that?
They
Well, the
told him-
Pat McAfee show thing, I think that's his right to do it, but they showing up, that's his job.
Right.
So
I'm split on what he should have done.
I'm more.
If he said I'll show up and I'm doing Pat McAfee and they kicked him off, I'm like, well, that's whatever it is.
Agreed, but
maybe that's what he said he'll do.
Where do you think he's going?
Oakland.
There's a team that I thought of today,
and
I think this is because it could happen. The road of Brett Favre.
Well, yeah,
the Vikings.
That's been talked about a lot.
They're going to dump and just keep McCarthy, let him go there a year, and then make sure McCarthy knows he's starting in the next year.
Fulfill the prophecy.
I think
the prophecy would be fulfilled, except he was in New York for 2 years. Favre was only there for 1.
Yeah.
But he missed most of that season because of injury.
I have a wild card.
Who?
49ers.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking.
Because they're not going to want to pay Purdy $60 million.
And that's where where he's from. I mean, he's a California guy.
Another 2 Steelers.
He could go whale watching.
Steelers might be one too.
He was a 49ers kid. It'd be a homecoming for him.
I don't think he would, if he has any control over the situation.
I do.
Go to Steelers. I think
Steelers are built to win, though.
I think he'd want to go to San Fran.
Cleveland came up too, but Cleveland's the same as the Jets. What do you? You're in the same situation. You got a better coach, I think.
I think you have a better roster with Pittsburgh and their crazy wide receivers.
I agree.
All right.
I think he's still, even though he's getting cut, right? That's what's happening, basically. But he still holds,
and Adams is getting cut too.
He holds all the cards because he's Aaron Rodgers.
What about the Browns?
He just decided not to
Adams
play.
is going to KC to be that dude.
I think Adams is going to Green Bay.
No,
I would love it.
I do. I think he is.
Did you see what he put on his Instagram story the other day?
Josh Jacobs.
He was wearing Devontae Adams was wearing green and gold Jordans, and he put the eye emojis. Put on his Instagram story.
And Josh Jacobs came out and said, "We need a veteran receiver in here." And obviously, they played together in Oakland.
I think Devontae Adams is going to go where he'll have a few places in mind. Whoever pays the most is where he'll go.
The other thing I keep seeing is Max Crosby coming to the Packers.
Yeah.
That Max Crosby.
How about the Cowboys think about trading
Micah Parsons?
What the fuck is Jerry doing? Is he like, oh, Mavericks here, hold my beer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, Micah,
maybe that's why she didn't want to go back to Texas.
Maybe.
What's her name?
Right.
Yeah.
And Micah just got a contract, so he's under contract, I believe. So it'd be a valuable trade for whoever gets him because he's paid. But I saw the Myles Garrett stuff too today, and they're like, people are saying they're going to want 2 first-rounders for these guys. I'm like,
absolutely not.
Although, I mean, the Bears did it with Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack made it. They probably would have advanced further in the playoffs if it weren't for a stupid ass kicker, and they had a good team that year, and he helped that defense become good. And Myles Garrett, if you got a team, and it was like the Bears traded like a number 23 pick for him, and like it ended up being like a 14 and like a 20. So it wasn't like great, huge first round picks, but it's still first round picks in NFL. Those are tough to go get away, but. Myles Garrett, man, was he 28?
Why wouldn't he stay? If they draft Abdul Carter too, right? And the two of them are
right. That's what they're talking about.
Would they be bookends?
But it's still they still can't score.
Right.
Well, okay, so you have to have a conversation with the owner there and be like
29.
It's 29, so yeah, that's
or the GM.
And how old is Micah Parsons? Like 27, maybe?
25, 26.
Yeah, he's young. But Micah Parsons is
99 he was born in.
Myles Garrett, 26 then?
25?
25.
25.
Yeah. Myles Garrett is just he's a monster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wrecking crew by himself.
Him and Montez Sweat on both ends.
And he swings a pretty mean helmet too.
Yeah. Well, but you gotta look at what about an O-line or what Ashton Gentry? Because that's the big thing that looks like it's a lot of stuff saying like the Bears might look at Gentry.
They won't.
They gotta take a lineman.
Unless they get lineman in free agency. Then I still think they take a lineman.
I do too, but a lot of signs look like they might just.
They claimed the lineman today from the Chargers. They claimed the lineman today from the Chargers.
What did they? Joe Alt.
I wish
that'd be great.
Awesome. Speaking of the Chargers, did you see who the DC is going to be for Kellen Moore in New Orleans?
Brandon Staley.
Yep.
Really?
they worked together. I think he was his boss. He was the OC in San Diego.
You know, but that's
or LA, whatever.
That's smart though to have a young coach with even. Say what you want about Staley, he was a head coach. He knows the pressure.
That's why I like Dennis Allen.
Right, exactly.
I think it's a great situation. A guy that's coached that couldn't coach,
right?
But he knows how to handle things when you're head coach.
Right.
And he's friends with Ben Johnson. They know each other.
Right.
So
They're a support structure then for the head coach.
Right.
That's for sure.
And then he could say, hey, you know what, Ben, I see you doing this. I would recommend.
Or maybe he goes and asks him, hey, what do
Right.
you think about this?
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
And not the coaching part of it,
Soundboard.
because they coach different things.
Right.
But just about, hey, what are we gonna? We have a problem. Okay. Player A, we're having a problem with him. How
would
what
you
do
handle it?
This is what I'm going to do. Do you think that's the right way to go with this?
Right.
Yeah, hey man, I support you. Or well, you know, this
Right.
is, you know, it's a lot of psychology with these guys too. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, I like it with Brandon Staley. I mean, we laugh at him, but he could coach. He started with, was he a Patriot?
No.
No, Colt.
He's a Ram. He was.
He was a Ram underneath McVay, right?
There's a tree there right now.
Yeah,
for
Stafford. That's the thing that's been popping out. A lot. Stafford not coming back, and that's another guy linked to the Vikings.
He only has the guarantees I saw on Stafford is only like $4 million next
And
year.
Stafford would be a home run for the Vikings for a year,
right?
Because he still can play, and with Justin Jefferson and Addis, Jesus Christ.
Brandon Staley was the assistant head coach for the 49ers and the defensive coordinator first for the 49ers. Then he went to the Rams and in 2020. So he was the DC for the Super Bowl night.
Another guy we didn't talk about either that was under the radar, Robert Saleh, going back to the 49ers.
Right.
That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah, it is.
That's huge because that's huge getting a guy with that experience too.
So now Rodgers is definitely going there because the two of them were boys.
Oh, they were
And
buddies.
chest bumped and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually
he was a Bears coach too.
I
in
have
2018.
two. I have
No,
two
Staley's the mascot.
questions.
Go ahead.
One, why? So the Vikings want McCarthy to play. So why would they do that? Why would they bring in? I mean, we know why they would or why they should because he's better.
Right.
But why would the Vikings, not us?
I think the thinking is this: if they can get, after seeing Darnold's last couple games, I think he had a good year, but last couple games he fell off a little bit, so it's kind of made him. If he had two good games, this would be no question. They're gonna franchise tag him. They still may.
No doubt that Stafford's better than Darnold, but I'm just saying, why would the Vikings, and they're thinking about McCarthy? Why would they do that?
Because he's still going to have 2 years left after this year.
Okay.
Correct? He'll have 2 years. He has 3 years left. Well, the fifth year is an option
as a rookie
for the team. So he has actually 4 years left. So if he doesn't play next year, he's got 3 years left.
Yeah.
So what does that hurt him sitting? This year he sat. I get it. He didn't play. He couldn't play, but he could learn. I mean, Mahomes sat. Look what it did for him. I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks that are good now sat.
Well, could it be
Lamar
something-
Jackson sat almost a whole year? Josh Allen, did he start right away? No. So, I mean, sometimes starting sucks for guys in the NFL. It's tough on guys. Like Jane Daniels had a great year, but he had a pretty good team around him.
He had a good he had a coordinator that played to his strengths.
And don't everybody forgets, Jane Daniels had like a 4 or 5 game, 6 game span where he was
hurt,
mediocre.
Okay, yeah.
And Bo Nix started out slow.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, Williams was up and down, I think, because I blame the team was part of the problem. Also, he's a rookie.
Right.
But these guys get a year. I mean, but that's 2 years, I guess, McCarthy. If you want him to start, you got to throw him in the fire. But
at some point,
yeah,
you got to see what you got.
And they were planning on starting him this year, so they thought he was better than Darnold.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So he's going to be the starter. So,
but maybe not. Maybe for health reasons, they decide, hey, maybe we still need a veteran.
And he did tear his knee. They had to give him another surgery.
Okay.
Like middle of the year, right? Something
So
like
then
that.
it does make some sense.
I
But
mean,
does it make that
clean
kind
it up?
Yeah. So maybe just because
which happens.
they probably did it because he said, we're not playing anyway.
Right.
Let's get this right. You're not
Yeah.
going back on the field anyway. It doesn't matter.
And so Stafford might be like, look, maybe I'll come in there for a year, knowing that it's a year.
Yeah.
Get paid somewhat, but be a
Right.
little bit.
They do have a ton of cap space, and I'm just wondering who they're going to bring back on defense too, because I've got like 3 or 4 people that are free agents as well, and I think it's secondary as well too. Just make it poach.
And they're probably going to sign a couple guys back, or they're going to go grab. I mean, remember, there's Darius Slay available. There's a Sweat available. Josh Sweat. There's
sweats all over the field.
Sweats.
Giggity.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know
It was like that Clemson game the other night. Sweat all. That place was hot and sweaty, man.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Flag slipped a few times.
Did
Yeah. It was just a hot environment, man. Sweat everywhere. But I got another question.
I have 2 as well.
Because I mean, I wrote down just kind of the whole sleeper thing, and I think it's easy if you're looking at the AFC. You know, you could go to the Bengals and Chargers or whatever. Where it's tough is who's the sleeper, who's the team that didn't make the playoffs that would maybe surprise a lot of people if they made the playoffs and even made a run next year. Who's that NFC team?
NFC.
The Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I consider that a little bit. What about the Falcons?
I have to pick the Cowboys.
Yeah, well,
They get Dak Prescott back.
Yeah,
they're healthy.
New coach though.
But would that surprise people though? Like, what's a surprise?
I see what you're saying.
That's what I was trying to dig for, and I'm like, thought about the Bears, and I'm like, well, what about the Falcons? I mean, the Saints seem like they're too far away.
The Saints they're in salary cap hell. They're like 70 million over
49ers.
No,
well,
that's
not a surprise.
They were terrible.
Yeah,
so are the Cowboys.
They're a
I
mash
mean,
unit basically.
Yeah, I mean, and there's no chance of like the Giants just turning things around and being
Why
in the
not?
playoffs. I mean,
NFL's the easiest place to go from last to first.
But rock
to
bottom.
0 to hero or 0 to 0 quick.
But really, truly rock
I mean, take
bottom.
Houston for example. They were a playoff team this year, but they weren't the team at all they were last year. They were in a different division.
And they won one more game.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have made. They're in the North. They wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have. I could
Right.
be wrong, but
I think Indy's
You're right. No, I think the numbers would tell you that they didn't have enough wins.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think Indy's another team too.
They're not in the NFC though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, they could be. They could be in the mix.
Don't discount Rodgers going to Indianapolis either. Are they really like sure?
I think they're gonna draft a quarterback this year if they get a chance. It's in the second, third round. If there's someone they think that's good, worth it. I think the Colts because
Isn't that crazy?
He is terrible.
He's not.
I've you know what the Bears have drafted quarterbacks and they've been, but he's the worst quarterback I've ever seen. We saw him. It was like he's throwing balls like
there are guys wide open. We're like
just launching over our head.
And he was picked 3, right?
Yeah.
In that draft.
Yeah.
And he's not, and all he does, then he runs and he even makes comments like, well, they want me to slide, but you know what? I can't do that. Then you can't play in the NFL because you're not going to live long enough to play in the NFL. You have a bad shoulder, but you're still lowering it to, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't get better by not playing. That's what that probably ruined him most. He missed so many games.
Yeah.
He's just, I mean,
Yeah,
could he become great? I don't know. Maybe everybody don't.
Maybe he should take some lessons from Jameis Winston and hope that he's funny or something, and he can have a career.
You see, they were throwing crab legs to him when he was catching them.
I saw highlights always. Yeah.
W's.
Yeah.
He told AJ Brown to do the dance in the end zone, and he did it. He did it.
He sat next to Burt Kreischer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Fox said, "Here, James, and here's a bottle of Hennessy. Now go around New Orleans and do dumb shit all week."
I love when people renew their personality like that, like Bryson DeChambeau kind of in a way.
Right.
Like just,
Well, watching Hard Knocks, the AFC North in season 1, he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Like when he got benched in that game, he's like, I understand, coach. I get it. He
had
didn't
some
pout, he didn't
moments with
argue.
Everyone
He
that's
goes,
playing
I
with him
can't
loves
turn the
him.
ball over, and I keep doing it. I gotta
Right.
fix it. He
Right.
knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if he was a Bear right now doing that, I'd probably be like, I'm fine with him because at least he's trying. He's not this guy that's giving up and quitting and doing this all.
he had some
He's
pretty
not
good
taking
rhythm
himself out
for a
of the
while
game.
with
Man.
Jerry Jeudy. Like they were.
Jerry Jeudy was a Pro Bowler.
That worked
this year.
out for a little while. Obviously, then he throws they may make some dumb mistakes. But where does he go next year?
Jameson. He'll be a backup. He'll
Indy.
He'll get
sure.
a job as a.
Well,
I would
sure.
love to see him in Indy.
I'd love to see him. I think why wouldn't Green Bay take a shot at him as a backup?
I'd love that.
I mean, why not?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
You need to have veteran backers in the league for injuries. You have to. And what's his name? If he's a free agent, he's going to ask for too much money because
Willis?
he had a couple good games.
what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, and he didn't look great his last game, but he didn't practice all week either. That's different when you just come in the game.
He got fucking depleted.
Yeah, he was not good. In that game.
Don't talk about my mama.
Well, I don't know if he's ever going to come back from the hit in the Bears game.
That's what we're talking
That's
about.
what
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, he
Your
just
dad
got
and
lit
I
up.
stand next to each other like, holy shit.
Both our angles looked like his head popped off as
Yeah.
the ball went flying. We're like, I went like this. I looked at Tim. Tim's like, oh. We didn't even know what happened. We touched the play. We thought the Packers recovered it. We're like, Bears got it. We're like, oh my god, I think he's dead.
Wow,
dude, it might be one of the biggest hits I've ever seen ever in person. It was insane.
Like, how do you not feel like it was like I felt it?
We were like 150 yards away. We heard it.
Yeah,
he was like, oh.
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but there's been a vigilante in Gotham.
So yeah, NFL is over, unfortunately. But we can talk about the draft in a few weeks, about 2 months, right? 2.5
so
months.
I have two questions.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So now that Virginia McCaskey has died,
yes.
So the question is with how, and I don't know how inheritance taxes work. How soon do you think the Bears will be put up for sale if the kids can't pay that inheritance tax?
Yeah, I don't know if they had how it was set up because I think you don't have to pay it if it's a trust or something like that. I don't know how it's done.
Right.
They were smart enough. I'm guessing. I don't know
because she inherited the team.
Yeah.
Right?
And
so
Hey, we know the owners. They probably weren't.
no, I mean there's the one thing they're smart with their money.
Right.
Those owners aren't done with their money. They have people that know how to manage it. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I think the stadium deal gets done and it'll be started by this summer.
Why did she slow it down?
No, because it has to be. They have to be out of Soldier Field by 2027, and it works out
Which
perfect
site?
timing.
Which site?
So stupid.
I think Arlington.
Arlington.
Yeah.
Because
I believe Arlington.
Do what with the place?
Well, because
They own it.
Yeah.
They own
But what
the
are they
land.
going to do with it? Like,
Yeah. Well, I think
dumb.
they just want. Well, that's the problem. They own it, and the Bears are like a top 3 franchise money wise.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even own their stadium.
it's crazy.
They have nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I mean, the Cowboys will never catch in ranking of money because they're
I think they're 10.5 billion or something.
but
the Cowboys.
their facility and everything is worth more than most.
Right. They have
most whole teams combined, not
Right.
just their stadium.
right. They have bowl games and concerts.
Yeah, and it's a destination.
Right. And the Bears would be dumb buying a horse racing track and not put a football field there.
Oh yeah, they need to make a whole entertainment
Right.
village, basically.
They
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
If they're smart about
And
it.
if they do, they're talking about just south of Soldier Field. It's old Michael Reese Hospital site.
Right.
They're talking down there.
Because they were supposed to put the Olympics there. That was part of the.
So it'd be just south of McCormick Place and 18th Street and
More
all that down there. I think 18th Street. So yeah, I don't know.
Would it be easier to get there?
You could take 55 around probably, but you could take 55 to Soldier Field too. And it's still busy. They're not. It's not going to be easier.
Yeah, so that's the only difference. I know that area. The only thing about that area is it's already infrastructured.
Well, yeah,
That's the
because
big thing about it. It's already built
Yeah,
up.
'cause-
You just need to.
Arlington,
Arlington
think about Arlington Heights. You got Lake Cook Road that comes up to what is whatever it is.
Is it
That goes by.
60?
It is 60.
60. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we
Yeah,
got
that
the, we
Arlington
got
Heights
the
has to be
infrastructure
built up.
right in Summers.
You know what? Waukegan right on the lake.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. Right by the Genesee, down the street from the Genesee. That's a whole old. That'd be a great place to put it.
Yeah, the old OMC.
Hop on
right?
that train and go right down to the
So
stadium when we
easy,
want to
yeah.
see a game anytime.
Shoot down
The
Sheridan.
Waukegan Bears.
Yeah.
Put a casino there too. That fucking make a lot of money.
DraftKings right in the stadium.
Right.
Why not?
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
else does it.
Right. And then my second question is,
Yes.
as far as halftime performers, who would you like to see perform at the Super Bowl?
Bon Jovi.
I'm surprised Bon Jovi
Could
never
this
did.
be can I go back into the into history? Like, can I can I time travel?
If you can make it happen, sure.
Okay.
Who do you? Someone that's dead?
Well, no, just if the time travel to see like Jimi Hendrix or something like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be awesome. I'm not
okay,
talking about.
so for me, I mean, I'm a huge U2 fan. I already saw them. They already did the halftime show. Chris Stapleton.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they haven't talked to Taylor Swift yet.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish.
Well, here's the thing too. You got to remember, you have to pay for it.
Well, I don't.
They have to pay
The
for it.
performer
Yeah,
pays
yeah,
for it.
right,
That's why a lot of
yeah.
people don't want to do it.
Taylor's got money.
Yeah,
But
Taylor.
it doesn't mean she wants because you don't make any money.
I
off
don't.
of
I don't think they're paying for it now because I think Jay-Z pays for it because the Rock Nation.
Really, you want to be indebted to Jay-Z?
The
and
Rock
Beyonce?
Nation is his, right? Is that Rock
Yeah,
Nation?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think they set it up, and I think they.
So fucking.
I
rich.
think it'd be cool if they did like a kind of thing I like is like almost like how about a tribute to the decades.
Oh yeah.
Like had one like a band from the 80s, 90s, 2000s to the 10s.
So Bon,
And, like,
So basically, you have the Rolling Stones.
Well, you have
Bon Jovi.
No, but, like-
Bon Jovi, Bon Jovi,
Yeah.
Bon Jovi.
No, what I'm saying though, have them sing like one song
Right.
and then have your
That'd
headlining
be
one
cool.
at the end be a current band,
Right.
and they sing like 2 or 3 songs.
You have Taylor Swift at the end, and you
Yeah.
do like.
And I might be from the
right.
90s. You could do naming band I just saw
Green Day,
Yeah,
Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be cool.
And Bon Jovi could be the 80s or 90s.
Didn't Green Day do it once?
Nope.
They
No?
won't do it.
No, they
Thought
won't.
they did.
They won't let Green Day. They won't let Green Day do it.
They will- After what happened like 10 years ago, they let Green Day back up in front of an audience like
I thought
that.
they were part of a halftime show, like not the headliner. There was multiples.
80s, you could have Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
would
know
love
what?
to see Hall & Oates.
Still
I
alive.
If I'm
saw them
still-
unplugged at the Riverside years ago.
Still
If
alive.
I'm still alive in the year 30,000, I'll bring it up to them.
30,000? Wow.
Wow.
Well, this is getting interesting.
3,000.
Are we in 2020? Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, 3,000.
And you hear 30,000, I want to be 1,000 to 10,000 years old.
We had these things called podcasts, not these fucking telegraphic fucking chips in our head.
I thought I had too much math in high school.
I went to public school, Eric.
Yeah, that's true. I went to St. Catherine's. That helped.
Hail Mary.
Holier than thou.
You are.
Thou.
That's the only question you had? Oh, yes.
What was yours about the Hall of Fame?
Oh, the Hall of Fame. Just let's name who went in. Jared Allen, the Cowboy. Ex-Bear. Another Bear went in.
Right. Eric Allen went in, right?
Eric Allen also, the Eagle.
Overrated.
And then Gates, another great player. And then Stony Sharp.
Yes,
It's
awesome.
great that he went in.
There was an Eagle that got indicted?
No, not indicted.
Inducted.
Hey, give it some time. Give it some time.
Yeah, let that marinate.
I was gonna say, let's go back. Remember the last time we were there?
I told Eric,
They prayed in a couple days.
he was talking about with a buddy maybe going. They're soft talks about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, he's like, I'd be interested in going again just to go. I mean, it'd be cool. I like Hall of Fame's awesome. It's fun to go
But then
to
you're
and
like,
hang
oh
out.
no, an Eagle's getting
Eagles,
in.
it's god awful. You hear it all the time. All the time. You're sitting eating in the thing and they're cheering it. And I'm like, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Moment of silence.
Trying to think.
F-U-C-K. That's what I'd be yelling. I got to get some guys with me. We could do that back at them. Get in a fight. That'd be awesome.
The year I
Paying
went
for medical bills? I'm in.
The year I went, there wasn't any Eagles. There was a lot of players the year I went, and you had Raiders. You
were
Raiders
there.
people
A lot of players.
Obviously, it was the
Giggity.
Favre year, so it was nuts with Packer fans. But you had
Cracks.
Marvin Harrison. You had coach of the Colts. What? Tampa Bay. Dungy, yes.
Yeah.
You had 49ers owner.
Bartolo.
He went in, and then you had
Ken
Ken Stabler went in. Obviously, his family was there, but
oh, he wasn't?
and no, he passed. Orlando Pace too.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, it was so.
He's dead too.
Ohio guy too, right?
Orlando Pace is not dead.
Ohio guy, right?
Yeah, he just down the road. He grew up just down the road from Canton.
Just up the road.
Up the road.
Last time we were there, I got a picture.
There was a road involved.
I got a picture with Chargers coach, Mr. John Harple.
Jim.
Jesus Christ. Go to bed.
You couldn't have changed.
How old are
Did
you?
you have a
Having
meeting
aneurysms
today
already?
or something, or did you work today?
No, I don't work there anymore.
You just
I just put it
decided
on
to throw
'cause
that on.
Spring
It's
training.
fucking baseball season.
Oh my gosh!
I need a shirt that says that.
You know we don't televise this anymore, so nobody can.
Well, for
see.
anybody that's not watching, I'm in my Chicago Cubs grounds crew uniform, which if you didn't know, I was on the Cubs grounds
We're just
crew for
happy
2
that
years.
he's clothed.
Yeah, usually he's walking around under on his
Jesus.
finger in his nose.
I miss that.
Yeah, do we?
Should I come with a shower stall?
There's a lot more space though here. I have a lot more leg room.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it was kind of rough yesterday. Okay, so.
Any other NFL tidbits?
No, just looking forward to the draft. Did you watch the Senior Bowl at all?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So the
Ever? I don't think I've ever watched the Senior Bowl.
Really?
To tell you the truth,
I've
no.
watched it a couple times. It's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the quarterback from Ole Miss. Really looked. He was
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Probably looked the most polished of all of the quarterbacks around the field.
All the guys were in it. The top potential
None of the
picks.
top, like Sanders wasn't there.
Okay.
He was probably like the top name. The Riley from Notre Dame was there. He looked.
Where's he projected?
He's going to be like a 4th or 5th round pick. He's a project because he's not big.
Yeah.
Dart's bigger than I thought. And I forgot that he started at USC as well.
Yeah.
So, but he looked pretty good. There's talk now that he might sneak into the first round. So there might be 3 first round quarterbacks. So, but,
Who's taking a quarterback in the first round?
We'll talk about that soon.
The Gents.
It's too early.
Yeah. The Browns should. Actually, I think the Browns should take.
That's what I keep saying is
Yeah.
taking Abdul.
They should take
Carter.
Abdul.
I keep seeing Travis Hunter as the first.
He should go. I would be surprised if Tennessee trades out of that pick, but because they need talent. Trade out, get some extra picks, and then
Problem is, this draft isn't like a great draft.
I
mean, it's not it's heavy with spots. You don't got to go grab like the prime position players aren't.
Yeah, but if
fall
you-
over guys.
if
I
you-
don't think.
If you're Tennessee and there's a team that really wants like Hunter or Abdul,
Well, yeah,
right, and you can get like a lineman that you want, not overpay for him.
Yeah, well, I
that
agree.
route.
Yeah, I agree with
that's what
that.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I just think there's not. I don't know. We'll see though. Shit. So yeah,
cool.
So that's the NFL. We're gonna move on and we'll do talk about NBA in the next part of it, and we'll
We'll do NBA baseball.
Yeah, NBA baseball. Any tidbits you got left? Okay, sound
Sounds
good
to me.
Okay,
Chase, you got to come back.
Yeah, we need the floor. You can cover vacuum.
You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers, and our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com. The Basement Benchwarmers are back for hour 72. No, I'm just kidding.
last part of the show tonight, a little NFL and NBA talk. We're gonna start. I'm sorry, NBA and MLB talk. Got a lot of initials.
Yeah, there's too many TMI.
Yeah, TMI.
TMA. Too many acronyms. TMI. Too many acronyms. Yeah, TMA.
Yep.
Yeah. Not TNA.
TNA.
TMA.
Too much information.
Come on,
No.
Jace.
TNA's
Settle down.
a wrestling promotion.
Yeah. There we go. So what are we talking about?
What stuff?
Wow.
What, you say what stuff?
What?
And
Can you?
and that's what's up.
That's what's up.
And that's what's up.
So yeah, let's talk a little about NBA. We talked a little last week about the trades that happened. DeAndre Fox, Luka Doncic, and AD. Late trade in the week after our show was Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets was traded.
Jimmy Butler the third.
Oh, yeah.
He botched that whole thing about because he was 23. No, he was 22.
Yeah.
But he has had a different number everywhere he's played. He was 23 with the Sixers.
So he's had like 87
He was
numbers.
24 was he 24 with the Bulls? Like he's kind of stepped down in numbers.
I thought it was 22, but
no, he was 22 with the Heat.
Right.
He was 23 with the Sixers. I thought he was 24 with the Bulls.
He might have.
Like,
I'm Jimmy
and now
Butler.
all of a sudden just decides to choose 10, and then he added Roman numeral 3
You know
to
who
his
he's
jersey.
starting to remind me of a little bit? A little bit of Cam Newton. Starting to go a little crazy, I think.
He's been crazy for a while.
He's
We just realized that Cam Newton's crazy.
Oh no, I know Cam Newton's been crazy. Jimmy Butler's starting to get
You and
there,
I
though.
talked about it last night. It's when he got better, because he was just kind of a quiet defensive player. Then he got in the league. All of a sudden, oh wow, I'm good, and his ego just grew and grew and
When he
grew.
started with the
every-
Bulls, he was quiet, just played the game, and all of a sudden he became a scorer. And
Yeah, because he had Tips put him in his place.
Yeah.
And then they hired what's the coach from? He's with Nebraska right now.
Oh, the guy that was at Florida,
No,
Donahue. No, he's
not Donovan.
Donovan.
Fucking
Phil
see-
Donahue. What? Here we go.
Fred Holberg.
Fred
Hoiberg.
Hoiberg. Yeah,
Hoiberg, yeah.
Hated Hoiberg. Hated him.
Yeah.
So
Well, then he followed him in Minnesota, right? Because he wanted to play for Thibs, and then
right.
That's right.
Then,
He was in.
yeah, and then he.
That's where he might have been 24.
Right. Then he hooked up with on the team with Cat. Hated him. Fucked his girlfriend, and then beat him in a scrimmage with the backups, and told Tibbs that I can't play with these guys. They don't want to win. So,
Wow.
yeah. Jimmy Bucket's awesome.
Yeah, you're a fan. So you're a fan.
Yes and no. I think he's kind of over. He's probably like one of the best playoff basketball players ever.
playoff Jimmy.
Right.
What he did to us that year, to the Bucks, almost single-handedly.
We did it
He
twice.
was
Yeah.
just incredible.
He did it almost until he got to the finals. He did it to every team he played.
Did to everybody. Yeah, they were the last seed in, right? They were the 8th seed.
They played in the play-in.
Yeah,
And they lost. Didn't they lose their first playing game?
they might have.
Yeah, they lost to the Bulls, I thought.
Lost their first playing game, but they got an extra one because they were the 8th seed or whatever. Then they
Right.
got to play, and they won. And then they
Yeah, and that season, I think early in the year they had like just an atrocious. At one point, they were like 9-20.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
they
they
just kept.
That was the
building
year
and
they were
building.
the 2 seed the year before, right?
Yeah, they were high. They were high seeds before that a couple times, I think.
Tim, would you like to know the score of your Bulls game at halftime?
No.
don't depress them.
They are down 71-29 at half. To
What?
the Pistons.
What?
To the Pistons.
That I changed my bad.
The
That's
Bulls
my
are.
bad.
The Bulls just are.
Yeah, they should have been my bad too for waiting so long to get rid of all those. Like,
Yeah, they waited a year too long. In the summer, they should have did it.
yeah, they need to clean house. They just need to get rid of everybody. Owner, GM, coach.
Well, the problem with the owner, he's proving that he's running 2 franchises into the ground, not just one.
Wait, who
That's
is
bad
is-
ownership.
Is Billy Donovan the coach right now? Who's the coach?
Yeah.
It's Donovan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
That's what I was like.
Jerry Reinsdorf running 2 teams into the ground.
Yeah.
Not 1, 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And
The White Sox is a.
and
big
he's lucky
head
people
scratcher.
go still see games at United Center because he can't get people to go to Comiskey Park. He's lucky United Center gets people to go still.
I love how you call it Comiskey. That's awesome.
Still Comiskey.
Yep. You know what I meant. You guys
No,
all know.
I know what you mean.
It's actually rate.
We should go this year. Go to a game down there.
We should.
Yeah, we're going $5 night.
Yeah.
We could get seats in the back and then
Well-
walk down to the front.
We should go on Bulletproof Vest night. That's when I'd go for sure.
That's every night.
Um,
At who?
They changed the name of the stadium again. It's just Rate field now.
Yeah, it's
Not guaranteed rate?
Nope, no guaranteed, just rate.
They can't even guarantee that shit.
Yeah.
They can't guarantee anything there.
They can guarantee
They
it.
paid us. The letters went out on the light up there. The guaranteed's way too long. Let's just do rate.
It'll save us $200 a year for electricity.
So when it was
Hey.
Do you
Sold.
Remember, do you remember when it was US Cellular, right? And Joan Cusack was doing all the ads, so like the nickname for a while was the Joan. Are you going to the Joan to watch the game?
I thought it was the cell they call it.
Oh, the cell.
Yeah, the cell,
Was
but
it
then
Cell-
Joan.
Yeah, there was a while they
But
called
the cell
the
was
Joan.
US. They called it the cell. Yeah. That it's great. It's a nice stadium. You ever been to it? Have you been, Tim, to it ever? It's nice.
I might have been to the old Comiskey.
I like it. It's a nice stadium. It's great.
I haven't been there since they redid it.
They have
but
They have good, solid food
the food there
choices.
is supposed to be
great,
incredible.
great beers.
Yeah.
Tons of beers.
So what I'm hearing is the stadium's better than the product on the field.
Oh yeah,
Which is baffling because 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago, they were right there. They were in the mix. They were in discussion of being. I mean, they were a decent team.
And he wants to move up the road. That's why he wants to move. He wants to move right off the highway by the
fuck him
by the Amtrak area.
Well, let him move.
right there.
Then build it.
Let him move. Then let him move.
Right.
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah.
They'll keep the team there.
I mean, that would help. I think. I mean, like I said, I think the best thing for them if the Bears were to move or build a different stadium.
Oh, combined.
Put their stadium at Soldier Field site. That'd be perfect. Because a team that gets nobody to go will get people to go because there'll be conventions in town. You can walk over there. It's easier to get
hotels,
a Wrigley
better area.
Yeah.
Right.
We'd probably go to more games.
You don't think they should actually play on Soldier Field, do they? Because that would be fun.
Run to the 10-yard line. You're safe.
Another January game.
200 feet down the line, 600 in dead center.
Right field's only 50 yards.
We used to have car races there at Soldier Field.
Yeah, well, they used to have a lot. Yeah, because it was huge.
Yeah.
It was a cavern.
Yeah.
The place used to fit like 100,000 people.
Seriously?
Yeah, because it was big. If you look up old Soldier, well, I have that. I have something here. I have an old stadium. That stadium.
It's a new one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It shows you where the old stadium was and the new one's inside. Not the new one, but there's a smaller one that they made it smaller. And then, yeah, it was huge.
Because I guess everything was there for the Olympics back.
Was Olympics there ever? Chicago?
Was it there for the World's Fair?
The World's Fair.
It was World's Fair, maybe. I don't think Olympics were ever in
Well,
Chicago.
they had a track there.
Didn't they build that whole campus for the World's Fair?
Oh,
Or that was
lakefront, yeah.
that was Grant Park, maybe.
No.
That whole campus.
Field
was-
Museum,
Yeah.
Museum of Science and Industries,
That's
all
what I
from the
thought.
World Fair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Science and Industry is my favorite museum.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
The submarine.
I like the Art Institute. If you want to talk about Chicago,
Yeah,
museums.
obviously love it. Yeah, that's,
I like the fishies.
I like the fishies.
I like turtles.
I like turtles. So back to the NBA. Whoa.
Wow, we just went.
We talked about MLB for a minute. We did.
Oh, good. we're
So
done?
back to the trades. So Jimmy Buckets, I think, would be like they were talking about, and they're like a number 10 seed right now. The Golden State Warriors, but they're literally like 2.5 out of the 6 seed,
Right,
and
yeah.
it could be the 13th. They could be the 5 seed. You don't know what they're going to end up. So
Right. I don't think they made themselves any better either. I don't understand that trade. Like they're talking about, well, we don't need to make any trades just to make a trade. I look at that trade as they just did it to shake things up.
Yeah.
They couldn't get any. Well, they wanted to get the Slim Reaper, and he told them no because I think there's still a lot of. Pardon me. There's still a lot of acrimony from him blowing out his Achilles.
I think that what's his name today? I like him a lot too. Michael Wilbon.
Yeah.
I hear him on the radio every Tuesday. Must be on the way home. That he's on Wild on Sylvie, and he made a great comment about Kevin Durant. He's like, Kevin Durant's that guy that just doesn't seem like he cares to win. He just scores points,
right?
And he goes, I don't think it fits anywhere. I don't think he's that anymore. I don't think NBA really wants him. I think he can score 35 and he'd still lose by 20.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
There's not going to be a
and he's
team-
right. It's
right.
weird.
I would take him.
I don't
Straight up right now for Kuzma.
The cooler.
Should we talk about Kuzma?
Koozie.
I don't want to. I'm gonna get wound up about that trade.
You know what?
I think it's a great trade.
You know what though?
I don't.
Scott and I kept saying he covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, he does.
He can cover a lot of ground quickly. He's got a role.
He can match Giannis's athleticism, which they don't have anybody else on the court.
He can
Okay, I'll
attack.
give you
He can
that.
attack the
He
hoop.
can't. He's not going to score like Middleton, but Middleton's not from 2020 when he did that stuff. He barely plays
I
anymore,
agree.
and it's just a trade. All it was to get that money, get Middleton out of town. Right. That's all it was.
Yeah.
whatever. We got someone back. He's an NBA player. He has experience. He's won a championship. Like I said last night, I love to see him win, but I don't think the Bucks keeping Middleton or getting Kuzma doesn't move the needle.
No,
it doesn't. It keeps them where they are. Could they make a run? Yeah, you can get lucky. But you see it last night. Lillard plays fine with Giannis, but Lillard is such a lone wolf on the court. He plays better when Giannis isn't on the court. Yeah. He scores better. He does more things. And not that it's they work together. They've gotten better after last year. Last year was weird to start. You could tell they weren't meshing. But not having Giannis last night was pretty big. But they couldn't make free throws last night. I mean, they're not doing anything. Their defense a little better. Young guys are solid. I mean, what's his name had a great game last night.
Rollins?
Jackson?
No, the other
Derry Bird?
Hit those threes.
AJ Green?
No.
Prince.
Prince. I'm sorry.
Prince had a great. Yeah,
Prince.
He's been solid the last.
No,
few
and
weeks.
Prince and AJ Green, but the other you said his name, Junior Trent Junior,
right,
has been solid for them. They have a good team of guys. It's just that
I don't think they found the right combination yet. Like
That-
they needed to get rid of Portis too, which I think
I
was a
agree.
mistake.
I'm going to raise my hand here.
I agree.
Because here's the formula. They all need to be healthy. They all need to be on the court, and they need to play a lot of games together, and I think they can be dangerous. That's it. That's the bottom line is health and playing together.
I think what Tim said is perfect. I think Portis has to learn a role.
Well, yeah,
not get the ball and shoot.
If you have
he
all
doesn't. I've been to how many games, and he gets the ball and shoots every time.
Yeah, he does. He shoots too much. Yeah,
Lillard and Giannis don't do that, and they probably should be.
I don't understand why they traded for Jericho Sims and they haven't been using.
I think that's another thing about getting him in the system because last night they used what's his name for the first time. The other kid came in,
Porter Jr.
Porter, yeah.
Which at the time
he looked like a deer in headlight last night. He looked like he has no idea where to be and who to be.
I forgot he was out of the league for a year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been playing that much. So, I mean, I'm sure it was like...
Is that a future pick? Is that a pick for maybe next year if he's still around? They keep. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he's still young, too. I want to say he's under 28.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the mix. I agree with Eric. Could anybody get out? Because, I mean, but we were talking last night. A team like Boston, they're not going to beat a team like Boston in a 7-game series. I don't think they can.
No.
I just think Boston...
They could.
Anybody could beat anybody. I know.
They're not... They have barely played together this year.
Yeah.
They really have. Whether it was Middleton before, now it's Kuzma. Giannis and Kuzma have not played together.
Right.
And you talk about Lillard and Giannis finally figuring out. Well, they finally figured out. Then Giannis misses 5 games. Then Lillard misses 2 games. They just got to be on the court.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping after this All-Star break that they get healthy and they can play this last 6 weeks of the season together. And then I think they could be somebody.
Get that 4 seed, get a home court advantage in a playoff. Maybe.
Obviously, I drink the Kool-Aid, so I'll be like, yeah, they could beat the Celtics. And things could happen to the Celtics, too.
Yeah, they could beat the Heat, 2 years ago.
Whatever.
Has anybody thought they need a new head coach?
No.
I
think Rivers has done a
good
fine. Their defense is better. He's coached them fine. He's coached them fine.
I like him. I've had no problems with him.
He's a perfect veteran-laced coach.
Yes,
So-
that's what he is. He's like Dusty Baker, the
Exactly.
football version or basketball version.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, because he doesn't like playing young kids. He
Right.
sometimes doesn't like trusting them, but he does.
But he's got his guys that he trusts, though, too.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
AJ Green was at his little chalkboard about half the game. Every time out, he pulled him over, was screaming on him, drawing stuff showing where he should be.
That's good. That means he likes him.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's trying to get him right because he knows he's going to help them.
Right.
And
he needs him. He
Yes,
needs him. Right.
he needs because Connaughton's a guy who's gone. He's done. He's not a buck. And I love
So
Connaughton,
done
but
with him.
you don't need him anymore with the cheaper AJ Green.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line. AJ Green's 2 years. You got him tied up for what, 2-3 more years now?
Who's that?
AJ Green?
Yeah.
With there's no money
Problem
involved.
is Connaughton's buddies with the president.
Well,
Not of the United States, of the Bucks.
Yeah.
They're like in real estate together. I feel like that's such a conflict
I'm
of
buddies with
interest.
the president of the Bucks too. You don't give me nothing.
Yeah?
That asshole.
What about the guy that came to our seat? Are you Mr. Cavelli?
I like fish.
Like turtles?
I like turtles. So we didn't talk about this last week, though. We did with you, but your take on the Luka AD trade,
Tim loves it.
The insane trade.
I think people are way overblown about giving up Luka, just for the fact because AD's a top 50 all-time player. It's not like they gave up junk for him, and the fact that AD's got a title. I mean, Luka's a great player.
Yeah,
great player. Hasn't won. You know what I mean? Like, is he a guy that makes your team better? I mean, I'm not saying it.
I'd take him.
Well, that's funny that you say that. Dallas offered Luka to the Bucks for Giannis straight up. They told him no.
I heard that wasn't true. Someone said, but I don't know. I would have took
It's
it.
coming out now.
I would have took it.
Yeah, I would have took it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough.
I don't think you can take it. That's why they didn't.
Why? Why can't you take it?
Because it'll be worse than what was happening.
I would have
People
taken
stop
him.
going to games. There'll be a lot worse repercussions. Than I
Right.
don't you can't. Well, straight up though, what you could trade him to OKC for 5 first-round picks.
OKC wouldn't have done that though.
No, OKC's there's some OKC. If they could have gotten him, that would have been huge.
Right.
Does that make that would have made them
Maybe not because
over?
I like the way OKC's made their team. What players has Doncic made better? The way that I'm looking at it.
Oh, players that he's played with.
Yeah. He didn't make the finals until he got
Still so
Kyrie.
young. So young.
I just look
He's
at
been there for 7 years.
I look at the age though with AD. AD has had a history of more injuries than Luka.
Right. But the thing is, he's been there for 7 years, right? They went to 1 finals. He's been in as many finals as Trae Young.
No. When the Hawks go to the finals.
We knocked their asses out.
Not the finals. The conference finals.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Luka was in the finals.
Right.
Who they lose to?
Celtics.
Oh, Celtics stuff.
Did you watch? So when I got home last night, I
watched a little bit of it.
I watched
Yeah.
like the first half.
Did you watch the?
Oh, I couldn't get over the fact though. Like now it's in my head with like the Mavericks said his conditioning is poor. So right away when I turned
But
that thing on, I'm like, a fat fuck on the floor.
But they've seen him every day for 7 years.
Sweating his ass off.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they've got to know something.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Right. But I mean, it's the same injury for the last 3 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, either he's not doing something right or he's ignoring what he should be doing. And it's, to them, it's problematic. You know, and the thing is, too, that I think it doesn't help that Nico Harris was Kobe's agent, right? Or Kobe, no, he was Kobe's Nike rep.
Yeah.
Had a relationship with Kobe. So he thinks that, you know, Kobe is like the epitome of professionalism, which really wasn't true for his first few years in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got himself right. But I think Nico's kind of got the blinders on that he thinks that a player like Luka should love the game more, and he doesn't view that he does. And that's why he got rid of him. And I think part of it too is the ownership. You can't tell me that the ownership was like, hey, we're going to pay this guy $345 million and he can't stay healthy.
That's probably a big part of
Right.
it there. But
So, I mean, that's, to me, the way that trade went down that nobody else knew, the return they got for it, they gave up more for Mark Williams and had that trade nixed than they got for Luka. I think it was ownership saying, we don't want to pay him.
They couldn't pay him.
Could be.
Who?
They couldn't pay him. It was the whole thing because they couldn't afford to pay him.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
You didn't hear about all that?
No.
What is
You
all
got
that?
first right to sign your free agents. There's
You didn't hear about the team not being able to afford it. They didn't want to pay it because they wanted to possibly move. You didn't hear-
Dallas?
Dallas is owned by a casino group, and they wanted to move to Vegas, but the NBA blocked them because they are a top 5 profiting franchise of the league. So they didn't want to pay him. That's why. And they were trying to look into moving. So they had this trade lined up for a few days.
I will flip
supposedly.
it. That's the reason. That's stupid. Right.
Yeah, that's what ownership said.
Because Luka, the problem is,
and I'm not saying
it's an entertainment business. It's a money business, and in NBA, I think the NBA. Well, probably I guess baseball too. Baseball stuff. NBA is one of the hardest places to become good and win championships.
Yeah.
I think it is. Because everything moves so much, and guys, people think you could stick 4 great guys together and they'll win. They don't. It's just too hard, right?
Right.
MLB, but it's to get rid of Luka, I think was crazy in the fact that they loved him in Dallas.
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
They loved the guy,
Whether
and
they're
Mark
try-
Cuban, I think, loved him a ton too.
Right.
But Mark Cuban ain't going to say anything because he can't. He's not going to be that guy. Well,
Yeah, and
if
that's
I
the
was the
thing, too.
owner still, that would have never. He's not going to stay. He can't because that'd be just bullshit. He couldn't do that either.
And he waited a week to say something, which it's that whole thing's fishy.
It's
the fact
so
that nobody else
fishy.
knew, and you can't tell me that.
And then Danny Ainge was involved. They didn't even know what was going on.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do it. Who's this
Right.
for anyway? What?
Right. You can't tell me they didn't tell Danny Ainge who that was for. Danny Ainge does not do anything without being calculated as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that LeBron didn't know, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. So like.
Now the flip side is AD is older, but AD gives him a chance to win this year. I believe.
Absolutely.
If he can stay on the court,
right?
Yeah, and
he
with
had
him
a
and
brilliant,
Kyrie,
he had a brilliant first half in that game. Then he gets
his
hurt.
first 26 minutes as a Maverick was awesome.
Incredible, yeah.
And Christie too is like underrated as a pick as well. I mean, he was a first round pick that's languished on a Lakers team that didn't really give him a chance. He's scoring like 17 a game already for those guys.
And I'm a fan of Luka. That's why I just think it was crazy. And he's been the Mike Trout of basketball for like the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Always coming in second, never the MVP. Always in the talk.
So why is that? Why is he always coming in second?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
well, you know what? It's an entertainment business, and he's putting butts in the seats, and the fans are upset.
Right.
And AD
so you
is
know
not.
you made
I'm going to tell you right now.
He's not
In our
putting asses
eyes,
in the seats.
AD's we go watch him, but nobody's going. Nobody's going. I want to see AD tonight.
Right.
No,
Not many
it's
people
Luka.
are saying that. Get what I'm saying? We would.
Right.
But more people probably want to see Kyrie than AD.
Right. I agree.
I'm not
Yeah.
and that's not dissing.
No,
AD is one of the
absolutely not.
top.
Right.
Yeah.
But so is Kyrie. Kyrie's probably the best ball handler in the NBA right now.
Kyrie, I wish the Bucks would have made a play for him when he was in that area where, he likes Sage and he's talking about this.
Right.
Go grab that dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Go grab him. He's won two or one.
One with Cavs.
And part of the reason LeBron was part, don't get me wrong, but
He had
if
a
he wasn't
huge
there,
series.
they wouldn't have won that series.
Huge series.
No, he was awesome. And no knock on LeBron. And I will give LeBron a credit on this too. The way his in the circle last night when he goes, what did he say to Luka? He was like, they're in a circle, get ready to go out the game. The whole team was in there. He goes, like, don't listen to the noise, Luka. You play your fucking game or whatever like
Right.
that.
Don't worry about. All right.
Yeah, whatever he said, it was pretty cool. Kind of
Right.
basically saying, who cares?
Yeah,
Go play basketball.
Get the fuck out. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so you watched. I watched just up at.
I watched like a quarter when I got home.
Yeah, just took it to halftime.
I did too. They were up at like 30
They
at
were up-
halftime, right?
Yeah,
They
so
were
it was hard.
killing
It was
them.
hard
Yeah.
to tell.
Yeah.
Did anyone see Don't Connect on the sideline?
No.
No.
Yes.
He's
Why?
got to
Because he was in street clothes.
Oh.
Because he can't play. They're in limbo with this trade.
He came back. He had to come back.
Right. He looked pissed.
He can't play then.
Nope.
Guys, it's up for challenge right now from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, because Charlotte wants them.
Charlotte wants it.
They want to get a Williams.
They're challenging the Lakers' failed physical.
What was the physical fail? What did he fail?
His knees.
Oh.
Which they didn't disclose. They
Oh.
disclosed his back. They knew his back was bad, but his knees have been bad since he was in college or high school. So, the whole my feelings is that the NBA is so different today that it's not a team. You're not rooting for a team anymore. You're rooting for players.
Mm-hmm.
You're rooting for LeBron because it's you're rooting for LeBron. You're rooting for Gian.
Try again.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Right. I mean, look at the game last night. Like all around us, we're looking at Giannis jersey, Middleton jerseys, Dame jerseys.
Well, you think if Curry wasn't on Golden State, there'd be all the Golden State
No,
fans there?
absolutely not. They're not going there for Uncle.
I said that when we left. I'm
No.
like, were these people all fans when Baron was it Baron?
However,
Baron Davis.
Baron Davis was
However, I think they would be somewhat of a Warriors presence because Podziemski and Looney are both from Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, it's not.
but they're
filling,
not.
That's not filling the arena.
Right. They're not exactly.
There was so many. There was a lot of Warriors.
There
fans
was-
there.
there
It
was
was
a lot-
loud.
I was surprised how many people were cheering for Curry every time he made a shot.
My favorite jersey I thought was the Jimmy Butler Marquette jersey I saw. That was,
Did you see one?
that was a winner. That was a winner in my. We
What
saw him
number was he there?
33.
Yeah.
I saw it.
He always has a different number.
Yeah, that Weber State jersey was pretty sweet. I would love to see that Marquette jersey.
Yeah, it was a lot of Golden State fans.
Yeah, you know what we should do is find a Doc Rivers Marquette jersey.
Ooh,
that would be fucking
Good
wonderful.
call. Vintage ass shit there.
And a Darvin Ham Texas Tech jersey.
Every time I see him, I think of Loris Fishburne now.
Do you?
The clip show.
Dude, I think of
That was great.
I think of Darvin Ham fucking wrecking the rim when Texas Tech, like when they first. I want to say it was just before Knight got there. Actually, he might have played for Knight, but they came into the tournament and were just wrecking people. And Darvin Ham was like this undersized, like mini Charles Barkley, just dunking the fuck out of people. That's what I remember from Darvin.
I liked when he played Darvin Ham. He was fun to watch. I like that dude.
So, yeah, you're right. Luka's probably the most beloved player in the NBA for a local team.
And we'll think internationally what he does for you too.
Right.
European market. I mean, people talk about China and
This
stuff.
is why it was just a dumb decision for them to trade him. I mean,
I just
on and on and on.
yeah, it was weird.
And there's conspiracy theories. Because the NBA ratings are down. Silver made them. That's so stupid. Like, yeah.
I don't know.
I heard the NFL was a little upset. There was too much buzz from the NBA during their Super Bowl week.
Hey, Justin Tucker loved it.
So they might trade. They might change the time frame that can happen.
Oh, the trade deadline.
Yeah, there's talks about that. Like,
I don't think it should have been the week of the Super Bowl anyway. I talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying. It shouldn't be that.
Right.
Who pays attention to the
trade deadline?
Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
You can see everything you want to see. You can find on your phone and watch anytime you want.
Right.
It's not like, and I get NFL. They're becoming.
I thought it was
psychotic.
Really, I thought it was really muted as far as the coverage and stuff went because there wasn't any like outstanding storylines other than the three-peat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's NFL. But long term, it may end up being a terrible trade, but you never know. You never know how things turn out. Like, he's one twist away from blowing out.
Everybody is.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
I think it's a
at
great
his
trade
age.
for the Lakers because it gives them something to build around. LeBron can leave and they still have a guy
How
there.
the future.
Right. And this fucking happens to them every fucking decade.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
How come they can do it?
Right.
And nobody else can.
Right.
And Rob Pelinka is going to be just because of what he did. You can like or AD, Luka, whatever. He might end up be in the voting for GM of the year now just because of that trade. I mean, getting that. I mean, they're not going to win, so to be someone off a better team like OKC and stuff because obviously they put good teams together. But that's a great trade. I mean, you got a guy that can make you that's going to make you relevant probably for 8.
The Lakers are in the mix though. I mean, they're playing pretty solid. I don't think they're going to win the finals or whatever, but they're kind of in that. They're in the mix.
But I think we were talking last night. I think the West is way more wide open than the East.
It's tougher.
Yeah,
I
think the East is tighter, but you got a lot of you got a lot of teams, man, that are good in the West.
Yeah,
like very good.
Yeah, when you have Golden State as like
Denver,
the 10.
Memphis, Phoenix.
Yeah,
it's loaded.
Golden State, Minnesota.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So MLB. What to bring up? We were talking about the MLB a minute ago. What was that about?
We were talking about the White Sox playing in Soldier Field.
Oh yes. Oh, the opening day.
Bergman signing with the Cubs.
Bregman.
Bregman might sign with the Cubs or Justin Turner in her Timmer.
Tigers, Red Sox, and Cubs. That's who it's down to. They're saying we should have something by the end of this week. They're saying that
he wants to play.
Well, when do they have to report regular players next week?
Next Monday. Monday is when.
So that doesn't matter, right?
He'll sign by then. I think he said he wants to. Someone said he wants to decide by then because he wants to be the first day. He wants to be the team.
Right.
But I don't know. Baseball's.
Yeah, the Angels signed. I was kind of hoping the Cubs would get Jansen, but he signed with the Angels. The Angels have had a underrated year with people they've signed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the Cubs have. I'm off that. The Cubs have done a little better the last few weeks.
Yeah.
They've signed some good parts and pieces, and
Jed Hoyer did say that there's still one more thing that he wants to sign, and it's hopefully Bregman.
Well, Jed Hoyer is. I didn't realize this. I saw stuff. He's in a lame duck year. Yeah, he's not in contract. This is it. So, and they asked him, and he actually he actually answered them instead of going, nah, you know what? No, he seems like he's pretty much like he knows if we don't do well, I might not be back here.
Right.
Which is good.
That means Carter Hawkins ain't gonna be back either.
So
good. I think
Carter Hawkins ain't doing
with the season officially starting on the 18th of March.
Yep.
We should probably do a preview pretty soon.
Yeah, a couple weeks we'll do the preview for sure.
Maybe I'll have a proxy that day. Have somebody sit in for me. I'm kidding. I'll do my best. I'll maybe pick the Padres to win the World Series.
You always do.
Do it every year. So
they took a step back. So
that's when they win.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, they're not.
They still got a pretty good team.
Not getting past the Dodgers though.
Well,
let's talk about Larry. Let's bring this up. The Dodgers projected 105 wins from PCOA. Next up, who do you think it is?
In the whole league or
whole league?
Yankees.
No.
Cubs.
Oh yes. Yankees at 96.
Cubs are at
number
105
to
96
or number 3.
Off.
What do you think it is? Number 3.
Detroit.
Atlanta.
Yep. 93.
Detroit.
No, number
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay.
93.
Cubs were fourth, right?
Fourth, 92.
Yeah.
They projected 92 wins for the Cubs.
Yeah. Who's picking that?
That's that system that usually is pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay.
It was right last year.
Hey,
projected
I'm happy. I like it.
projected the Brewers to win 90 games.
Did
and
it
win
really?
the division.
What to predict the Cubs to win?
80.
I think over and under is 87.5 for DraftKings. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the over.
$1,000.
What about
I'd take the under. I have no faith in the Cubs.
What about the White
Until they
Sox?
show me.
I think that division's going to be weak this year. About who?
The White Sox.
They're 3.
40?
3. 3 games.
I think their over and under is like 57, and I'll take the under.
I'm going to take the over just for fun.
Wow.
We got to look that up. We'll make bets at the beginning of the year. We'll do our own over and unders.
Yeah, let's do that.
So instead of, that might be more fun than picking. Like the teams just pick that.
Right.
I mean, we'll still pick, but baseball's so hard, though. Baseball's the hardest sport to pick. It really is. At least the NFL, on all of our picks, we probably each had 2 or 3, no, probably 4 or 5, 6 teams that made the playoffs. We said would.
Yeah.
Right? Might not have been where they were, but they made it. Baseball, you might not get one right, except for say Dodgers are probably going to pick them.
That's a good pick. NBA is the easiest.
What is their odds to win the World Series? Minus 1,000. Money line.
I'm all in.
Yeah, you might as well if you're a millionaire or billionaire. Drop $1 million on it in Vegas to win the World Series.
What, to win like $1.1 million?
It's all about the thrill of the fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll see. MLB, we got the draft like we said coming up.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs are coming up soon.
Jason Hayward signed with the Padres.
Yes.
Ooh. You don't need him anymore because you can do speech by AI, so you don't need him anymore.
Did you see the Wisconsin baseball thing I sent you
Yeah,
guys?
it was interesting.
I didn't read it yet.
Wisconsin baseball.
Why they don't have
baseball.
a team.
And they had pictures. They had Gavin as like a Wisconsin.
Yeah, with Wisconsin Badger uniform on. Baseball.
Baseball.
Because if he came here, they did it.
He never would have went to Wisconsin still if they had a team.
Well, it's just to say because he's from here. And the other guy was who? He's from Wisconsin too. I saw him. Austin. No. What was his name?
Isn't he?
He's a major leaguer. I just can't remember his name now. The two there. He's from Wisconsin, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, they said it was. They put it on Title X or Title IX, and then they're like, well, but now they could if they wanted because they have plenty of women's sports and blah blah blah. And it's like, so why don't they have a team? It's money. They're saying they have a club team, but now it's about the school taking over the funding. That makes it a.
Are they the only Big Ten team?
They're the only Big Ten team
that
without
doesn't
a
have
baseball
baseball.
team.
Which is crazy.
I mean, then you got to think about the money. You got to pay for a facility,
but
clubhouse, a stadium.
Wisconsin can afford it. Yeah.
Where are you going to put it? There's a lot of things that they.
Well,
don't
they
want
have
to
a club. They have a club stadium.
Oh, they have an actual stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure. So they probably would just make that one better. You don't need anything bigger for
starting
a
point.
baseball team. You only not much better than just add a little more seats than Carthage's stadium. Doesn't have to be
They
huge.
can play at Simmons.
Yeah, that stadium that's about the size you need for a college team. Probably not even half that size,
Right.
stadium wise for college. Well, when I went to see Creighton in Nebraska one time at the old Rosenblatt, wasn't very big.
No.
It was not. It was decent size, but it was not very
Even
big.
a historic organization like I went to an Arizona State game last year, and there's some
That's a sweet stadium
Hall of
too.
Famers from there. It's a sweet stadium, but it's not huge.
No,
it's not.
no.
It's not.
That's
like
what she said.
Giggity.
In Arizona State, we drove by it.
Sun Devil.
When we went
Oh,
down that
yeah,
road,
Sun Devil,
Arizona.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. That's a cool area.
That is Blair.
Where the football field is, pretty
Yep.
neat. It's built kind of into
That's
a mountain.
sweet campus.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
kind of hoping one of my kids might have chose that, but
That'd be awesome.
then I could just move there and
I love that campus.
hang out.
Yeah.
with
I'm pretty
Like
sure
3
that's
blocks
where
away from
that's
there.
where Gavin was committed.
They've been in and out there.
Was he?
I saw.
Gavin was committed.
He was committed.
Yeah, he was
Is
committed.
everything okay?
He was committed to Arizona State.
But he obviously was gonna go to the draft. He went to the draft.
What a
and it didn't work
loser!
out.
Stay in school.
Stay in school, man.
I don't think he would have came out of Arizona.
Yeah, that's a good. It's a cool campus. Nice.
Yeah, good place to be right now, especially.
I remember Dan. I'll tell you the story offline.
Okay, so are we going to spring training games or what?
Yeah,
Are you going to be there?
Kingfish spring training.
we're gonna go to Japan for the first game.
Oh, I gotta bring my kimono.
Saki Atumi.
It'll be awesome.
Saki. $5. Closing thoughts, right? Closing thoughts.
Did you see Ipe?
Huh?
The translator. Did you see his?
Yeah, he went to jail.
He owes Shohei Ohtani $17 million and 57 months in prison.
It's a long time.
Federal.
Is that your closing thought?
That's a good one. Nice outfit.
Go Cubs.
Here you go.
There
Closing
we go.
thoughts, Eric.
My closing thoughts.
Eric.
We just talked about it a lot, but I feel like the depressing time of the NFL ending, and now I feel like it's like the dog days of winter. But there's some good things on the horizon. So we already talked about the pitchers and catchers for the Cubs and Dodgers already reported, which means that there's only that's just a few weeks really till baseball. 4.5 weeks till Selection Sunday, so we'll have our March Madness, and obviously, and I'm just maybe this is more for me. This is like my my therapy list for me to get through the next 4 or 5 weeks, but. There's good things coming, so which means that you have in 6 weeks you have the Final Four, or in early April you have the Final Four, the 10th of April you have the Masters, and then before we know it we'll have the NFL Draft.
Masters that week,
yeah.
Nice.
It's always the week after the tournament ends.
I'll be up at a bowling tournament, so it's have
There
something
you
to
go.
watch on Saturday.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We did last time.
Yeah, so I mean it's just like these few weeks that you just kind of got to get through, and then we got some good things coming, but.
Yeah, we'll do some fun stuff. Like we'll do best fictional quarterbacks or best fictional football
There you
players
go.
in movies and shows.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Let's come up with a few snake draft ideas or
Yeah.
something. Maybe Willie will join us at some point. We can do birthdays again.
Who's older, Willie or X?
Yeah. I would do a snake draft of my favorite of Ed's flannels.
Ooh.
But he'll need to take pictures of all of them and give us something.
I'm sure I've got some on my phone.
I'm sure you do. From last night. You had a flannel coat on last
Giggity.
night.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was the ultimate.
Right.
So. Anyway, that's my closing thoughts. Is let's just get through these few weeks, but there's a lot of good things on the horizon. Before we know it, we'll have the NBA playoffs as well. So,
Yeah, we'll be
It's
talking
all
about
good.
talking about how Luca and LeBron can't get along.
I don't think that trades anything. I mean, I think LeBron's days are numbered.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it is. That's why I think they did it.
Does he hold the?
He's got a year left in the deal.
He's got
or-
an option.
Yeah.
I think Pelinka made this trade for fuck you to him as well. Like, with Don catering to you, with starting with
Because
this dude.
LeBron James has never taken a back seat. He's
No.
always been the alpha,
Yeah, he's never had a player better than him.
and Luka's better than him.
I would disagree with Anthony Davis has been better than him the last couple of years, but
But he took a back seat. He would defer to James. And they were talked about what the first year that him and Wade played together, that they were kind of like wanting to both be the alpha. And then was that first off season, and he's like, okay, it's your team, LeBron, it's your team, it's fine.
Which Dwayne Wade shouldn't have done that because that was his team.
It was his team.
He
Yeah.
came to his team.
Yep. Well, they won. They won a championship that year. They won. Those were the two that they won. They won two back to back in that 4-year span. They lost one,
1-2,
won two.
Who
and
they lose
lost.
to? Was it Dallas?
The Dallas was the first year. Then
Dirk?
Yeah. Then they beat the Thunder, and they beat
Celtics. No.
Spurs.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Spurs.
Yeah.
The following year.
Kawhi could play basketball.
Yeah.
Kawhi. Yeah.
My closing thoughts?
Yes.
So lost in all this shuffling of NBA players last week was Kevin Durant calling out the Lakers and the Mavericks for the Luka Doncic trade. How there's no loyalty in basketball anymore.
Oh, of all people.
Of all fucking people.
Wow.
So
Pot calling the kettle black.
Yep. Just gonna leave that.
I just don't get these guys.
I don't.
Man.
Yeah, I don't get these guys.
They don't.
either.
They don't. It's like it's like they just were transported into a body and don't know what they've done before this.
I think so.
Oh, who am I? Oh,
Right.
whatever.
I think so. Barkley, who I love, absolutely love him, had made a comment about how these players. He doesn't think players today love the game. They're they want to be basketball players, but they don't respect the game enough to love the game.
Yeah.
They're basketball players. They like the money. They like the fame, but that's it. They don't want to put the work. They don't want to make themselves better. They don't want to be not loyal, but I mean,
So it's kind of like our politicians. They got lost along the way.
agreed.
They were in it for the right reasons to start, and well, I mean,
And
now it's
they got paid.
too far gone.
Mm.
A kid's got to love basketball at some point to be good at basketball,
Right.
right? So when they're young, and they get to the college ranks, I think there's still some joy there. But then, yeah, it's just like,
Yes.
or we just like we said about Jimmy Butler. When he got better, the ego grew. And you
Right.
hope that it grows for them to want to win, right? But
Right. And then the player empowerment era too. I mean, I think he's the golden child for that.
Yeah, he is.
Forcing him way out of situations. So
Yeah, for him to leave that Thunder team, or Durant, right? We're talking about Durant, or
either one.
Yeah, for
Right.
him to leave that team to
And
go to the Warriors,
go to the team that beat him.
that beat him the
Right.
year before,
Right.
and it basically blew that team up, which was a homegrown, drafted team.
Yeah,
3 Hall of Fame players.
yeah. Durant, Harden, and what's his name?
Westbrook.
And then they had Baca too.
They had
Baca, and they had
Adams too,
right.
didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a solid team.
They were good.
They were good.
And they just don't want to stick around because they can't do it. And wasn't Harden the sixth man?
He was with his rookie year. Yeah, yeah, because they had Russ running the point. He was the sixth man, and they had Perkins too. Big Perk. Yeah,
Kendrick
Perkins,
yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the dude from Kansas that was like the original draft choice for Oklahoma City, because Durant was with Seattle before they moved. But
Wasn't Westbrook the?
No, I thought there was somebody else. I'll have
Westbrook was drafted by the Sonics, right?
Could have been.
I thought he was drafted by the.
Or Durant was drafted by the Sonics.
Right.
Durant was, because they moved Oklahoma.
Durant was for sure.
Yes.
And then I thought it was 3 years in a row. It was Durant, then Westbrook, then Harden.
Yeah, but
those were their top picks.
Right.
Who was a kid? Yeah, was he a white guy?
Yeah.
Not Steven Adams.
But he's beloved.
No. I know you're talking. I can see him too. I can see he's looks like a choir boy, right?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember his name. From Kansas. He was good. He was really good in college. I think.
I know who you're. Now I can picture him.
Yeah. He was really good in college.
They were.
He was like awkward looking, but he was good.
Were they a championship team?
I think that's the team that beat Memphis. He was on when Derrick Rose choked the free throws at the end.
The guy
he played with what's his name? Who was the good? Went to the Heat. The good guard, solid guard, college guard. Mario Chalmers. Was that him that played for Kansas?
Then he hit the big shot.
Yeah, he had a shot at the end, but remember Derrick Rose missed like 2 or 3 free throws at the end.
Yeah,
that would have sealed it, and he missed them.
Yep. D Rose.
Yeah.
What, you got it?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I can see him. Don't. I want to guess.
No, I want to guess with all. I don't want to look, but
I can't get. And this is wrong. I know it is, but I can't get his name out of my head now. Cherokee Parks is on my head, but that's not even him. He didn't even play for.
Well, I guess I was wrong.
I can't get his name. Oh, it's not the guy we're thinking then?
No, hold on. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, so I can't remember his name. But that was a good team. Oklahoma City they were too good.
Maybe it was the expansion. No, it wasn't expansion draft because they were. Yeah, Harden was the original draft choice, and then Eric.
Collison.
Yeah, Collison. Nick Collison.
Nick Collison.
Yep. He was a good pro, a good college player, and a solid pro.
Right.
He was like a Bobby Portis type guy.
Oh, he's in the organization as a coach.
Yeah. Nick Collision.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
That was all your thought. Tim was Durant then. Durant had an epiphany. God, he's so smart. They're all so smart. My closing thoughts are NBA guys are nuts. And
there we go.
I know my closing thoughts are it's a shame football's over. I agree with Eric, but we got a lot to look forward to, as he pointed out. But football, it's just nice to have every week football to watch.
It stays in the news all year though.
Yeah,
we got the UFL in 6 weeks.
Yeah, March 1st is free agency. 15th, something like that.
No, the UFL. You want to watch UFL? The Rock.
We can go to any game we want. There's seats always available.
No. We should go to a St. Louis game.
St. Louis has a UFL team?
Yeah.
They play indoors?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they call it? St. Louis Barnstormers? No, that was
Stallions, maybe? I don't know.
St. Louis.
Clydesdales?
Used to be Rams. St. Louis U's. So yeah, you're looking. I gotta see it. I gotta hear the name now. St. Louis. Oh, Clydesdales would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good name.
The Battlehawks of St. Louis.
Oh, Battlehawks. Yep, I remember
of
that.
course.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, well, we got the Masters, which is a good fun time. We'll be picking the Masters for a few weeks. We'll be picking, doing some NCAA Final Four picks. We get to do some brackets. Lot to go on. We'll do some snake drafts the next few weeks. So it'll be a good time to be a bench warmer.
Yeah, we will be the ultimate bench warmers.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do jersey numbers.
Ooh. So once again, we are the Basement Benchwarmers for Eric, Timmy, and Scott. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
I hate goodbyes.
Sorry, folks, park's closed.
What happened? I blacked out.
Because we did something today that no one thought we could do, including us. So we're going out, we're celebrating, and we're going to rub it in this city's face.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
Bye, Felicia.
Kids, there's Big Ben and there's Parliament.
I'd give them more buys than highs.
Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.